take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. With the kids back in school, now is the perfect time to go buy a new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. I have one and I love it. And I'm not the only one in my family that loves it. My 12-year-old daughter loves it. In fact, just the other day when I was about to drop her off to school, she said, "Dad, are we taking the nice car out?" And I said, "Yeah, honey, we're taking the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV." She was so excited to ride in it, and she was so excited to show it off to her friends. She loves the fact that it has seat cooling, seat massaging, and oh yeah, extra room in the back seat for all of her friends. If you don't believe me, just see for yourself. Go test drive one now at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You'll see how the car drives, the comfort it has, and the speed it has on the open road. Just head on down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online anytime at mbofstockton.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Oh, excited again today. We got, of course, football starting tonight. Jason Thompson joins us today at 2:30. And I know, Drapes, you're especially excited about Lionel Simmons.
My guy, L-Train, Lionel Simmons. Now, I'm going to just let you know straight up. It's going to be a lot of Philly talk when L-Train comes on. I need to find out his most slept-on cheesesteak spot in Philly. You know, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, going to LaSalle, his head coach, Speedy Morris, who is a legend. So
no Eagles, though, right? No, absolutely no.
I'm going to feel him out on that. I'm going to feel him out on that. I'm going to see if the Eagles are his team.
I think
he's a DMV guy. I think that's what I'm saying. He's a Washington, Maryland guy. And so I need to feel him out and see which way he leans.
Yeah, we sure got lucky yesterday with Mitch. And it wasn't just luck. It was Jay's hard work to get him on the show. But, I mean, he brought it yesterday, He's Mitch Richmond. He could have, thanks, guys. Yeah, I think the Kings are really good. Yeah, it's great to be on the team. All right, see ya. But he brought it.
No, he was invested. He was engaged. And, I don't know what he was doing at the time, though, because he had a couple things. He was multitasking a little bit, telling some people to hold on and everything. But, no, I mean, it's almost like it's Legends Week here, man. You got Mitch. You got Jason Thompson and L-Train today. It's a fun week, no doubt.
Now, I know I don't have to ask you if you're ready for some football. That's a silly question.
Yeah, I'm fired up, man. And I'll keep it real with you, Whitey. Usually I'm not this excited for NFL football. Like, I'm a football fan, yes, but I will give the NFL kudos for this. Tonight's matchup, tomorrow's matchup, like, they're coming out with some heavyweights right from the get-go, and then the icing on the cake come Monday night, Niners and Jets. And so I'm actually pumped up for tonight's game.
I hate to start the conversation and the show with something so cliche, but I think maybe we can find some common ground on this. All right. It's another one of these quarterback rankings. It's from The Ringer, and it's from Stephen Ruiz, who is he's a well-known Purdy hater.
Yeah,
So this just, all right, these quarterback rankings. 1, Mahomes. 2, Lamar Jackson. Okay. All right, great, right? 3, Josh Allen. 4, Justin Herbert. That might be a little high, but all right. Stafford, 5. Dak Prescott, 6. 7, Joe Burrow. 8, Trevor Lawrence.
No, wait, stop.
8, Trevor
Are you
Lawrence.
Serious?
Yeah.
Come on.
9, Aaron Rodgers. 10, Geno Smith.
No, shut up.
11, C.J. Stroud.
I'm tapped out. No mas. I'm tapping out of this discussion.
Let me know when you hear either your team's quarterback or our team's quarterback.
Dude must have forgotten.
12, Jordan Love. 13, Kyler Murray.
Are you serious?
14, Jared Goff. 15, Kirk Cousins. And 16, Brock Purdy. 17, Jalen Hurts. What is that?
What? I'm looking for like some explanation, some sort of like, here are the quarterbacks we expect to do. Like, give me something. But it's no explanation. He just gets right into it.
Well, he says, Jalen Hurts, good football player, average quarterback.
What's he say about your boy Brock?
A scrappy point guard who isn't afraid to take the big shot, but system quarterback. So again, I know one of the reasons this guy does this is that people will talk about it.
Right.
But I wasn't sure I'd even bring it up. And then I saw Purdy just a spot ahead of your guy. I knew I had to bring it up and see if maybe we could find some common ground.
I mean, here's the problem with this list. And I get it, Whitey. You got to do some things to make,
get people to notice.
But this list shows me this dude don't know what the hell he's talking about.
No.
Like, it's not about us talking about it. It just shows me he doesn't know football.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, look at some of the quarterback. He got Geno Smith, and I'm a Geno Smith fan. I like Geno Smith. He got Geno Smith way up there at number 10.
Yeah.
He has
Lawrence 8.
Trevor Lawrence 8. How about Kyler Murray? Ahead of Brock and Hurts. When these kind of things happen, Whitey, I'm usually the type, all right, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, so I'll just ignore this one. Just sweep this one under the rug.
That's the smart approach.
Exactly. I'm not going to get my blood pressure up over this cat. Man, that ain't happening.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't make you, wow, I can't believe this. I got to read what he says. It makes you feel like, oh, that poor guy. He probably shouldn't be doing that.
Like, you got Kirk Cousins ahead of Brock and Jalen Hurts. Jared Goff's a solid quarterback, but any article that has Trevor Lawrence as the 8th best quarterback, ranked 8th best in the league? Come on.
Your list screams desperation.
Right.
Your list screams, look at me.
Exactly.
But let's look instead at this.
Oh, you got something else for it?
Well, from The Athletic. This is, yesterday we looked at the AFC.
Yeah.
This is NFC executives and how they say it's going to go this year.
Oh, yeah.
In the NFC. So they have 5 people polled, 5 NFC executives. Drapes, it's not even close. These executives say, hey, we don't know what all's going to happen, but 49ers are clearly number 1. 49ers dominating the polling here.
It's just like a franchise that hasn't won in 30 years to celebrate preseason, before the season pollings. Come on. Niners fans, you got to be better than that.
Look at the rankings. They have 5 executives. They got a 1 from one guy. Number 2, first place. Number 3, first place. Number 4 says third place in the conference. Number 5, first place. That's easily the top score.
Yeah.
Let's see where the Eagles are.
Why you got to scroll down so far?
Well, actually, I don't. I mean, all fairness, they're 5th. They got a 5th place vote, a 3rd, a 10th, a 6th, and a 3rd. So they rank, when you add it all up, they rank 5th here. It goes 49ers.
This anonymous?
Yes, anonymous right? NFC executives. 49ers, Packers, Lions, Rams, Eagles, Cowboys, Bears would be your 7 playoff teams if this is right.
Bears would sneak in, huh? Who would be out that would be a shocker? Anybody on that list? Tampa Bay from last year, I guess?
Yeah, they would have.
Be out?
Yeah, the Seahawks out, Bucks out. I don't know if there's any shockers. It's kind of chalky. All the predictions this year are very, very chalky.
My thing about the Eagles and where they're being predicted is if you just looked at the roster, the team on paper, there's no way you could, whoever this anonymous scout, GM, or executive could think they're the 10th, going to finish 10th in the NFC. The only knock on the Eagles really is what happened last year. But from a personnel standpoint, Eagles are one of the top 2 or 3, 4 teams in the NFL in terms of just strictly personnel.
The executive who projected Philly 10th said there's too much noise there. So I guess he feels
come on, that's
whatever dragged him down last year is still a factor.
That's abstract. That's abstract.
Too much noise.
That's totally abstract. Like, you got to give me something more than that. Tell me you don't believe in Nick Sirianni. Tell me you don't believe in the coordinators that they hire. Tell me you don't believe in Jalen Hurts.
But 5th is still very solid.
Yeah,
I know you expect more.
It's like our top 40 Kings poll. It's like having Purvis Ellis in number 1. Then all of a sudden he's in our top 40 because he's weighted so high. This guy with his 10th ranking sort of weighed down the Eagles. How are the Eagles behind the Rams? Come on, man. And so this sounds like an NFC East executive, maybe a Cowboy or a Washington executive that got an axe to grind with Philly.
How much do you think your team's going to miss Jason Kelce?
I think that's big. I mean, he's one of the best offensive linemen. You know, he's like the quarterback of the offensive line. I think that's huge. But I will say this, and I always, check out Pro Football Focus. You know what I mean? And I believe they had the Eagles offensive line third, I think it was, top 3. And so I trust them, the experts who do this, don't have an axe to grind, no dog in the fight. And so I think it's still, even with the loss of Jason Kelce, still a very solid offensive line.
Now, we're going to see your girl tonight, right? Isn't Taylor Swift there? Speaking of the Kelces,
I'm super excited, man. What's the over under on how many times she's shown today?
I'm immune to that at this point. I know initially it was kind of irritating, and now it's like she's there and people love it. Fine, as long as you're showing everything that goes on. I don't care how much you show her.
So you're not one of those, if they show her, why is she on my TV screen?
No,
I'm disgusted by
I understand. At this point, I get it. She's a huge star, and it's a big thing. And some people probably watch to see as much of that as they can get, right?
Right, exactly.
Seems like a silly reason to watch a football game to me, but okay, if that's why you want to watch.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's sort of like NBC with carting out Snoop Dogg for everything. It's like just his mere presence attracts eyes to whatever sport venue, whatever. Same thing with Taylor Swift. Just her mere presence. And think about it like this too, Whitey. If you're a TMZ, Us Weekly, People, Good Morning America, whatever, like that's content right there. It may not be the X's and O's that Roger Goodell wants, but it's eyeballs on his sport. It's crossing over into other areas instead of just athletics. It's pop culture with her there.
I want to see the blend of Taylor Swift and football. I want to see the play that she drew up. Mahomes says she's drawn up some plays. I want to see him run it tonight.
If
that's what I want to see.
Will you give her credit if it's successful?
That's
right. You're not saying. You just want to see it fail. That's what you want to see. You want to see her little 15-yard button hook fail or whatever she draws up.
She'll drop something, and Andy Reid will totally change it. And then they'll go, well, that's Taylor's play. Well, she knows football.
Right. Well, we know it's a play drawn up for Kelce.
Absolutely.
Her boo. So, I mean, it's we know that's not true, though, right? They're not. No way in heck that they're going to run a play drawn up by Taylor Swift.
They're going to say they did. Right. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear that they did. Yeah, I'm with you. Probably didn't happen, but I could just see, that's Taylor's play. That big third down we picked up in the third quarter. That was Taylor's play.
Right.
Man.
You know what's crazy about this whole situation is the fact that she's even just going to be at the game is a news story. You know what I mean? I can see showing her, but the buzz, she's actually going to be like.
How long is it going to be that way, do you think? I mean, isn't there going to be a point at which it's like, okay, she's at the game. That's great, but it's not a thing anymore? Or is that going to be like all this year and all into next season?
Well, I think she'll.
What's the shelf life on this?
I'm going to say the rest of this year, and here's why. Hear me out. She's on tour, so she's out there, you know, selling thousands and thousands of dollars and everything like that for tickets.
She's already at the Super Bowl and they won. Where do you go from there?
But her tour wraps up in December. I got to imagine she'll be out of the public eye a little bit after that. Maybe back in the lab working on a new album or something like that. And so I think this craze will die down just a little bit.
You ready for that, Jay? You ready for that to die down?
I'm ready right now.
Oh, Jay, come on, man. Come on, bro.
Call me hater.
We got Jason Thompson, bottom of the hour. When we come back, tell you about the NFC West team that's trying to do what just isn't done in the NFL. Next, Sactown Sports.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, venues, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks or online sacsuperstore.com. Big inventory and the right deal. Experience it for yourself and see why their customers drive away smiling. It's the Sac Superstore difference.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, don't forget, get your tickets for the Marysville Stampede, September 14th and 15th at MarysvilleStampede.com. Bottom of the hour, Jason Thompson going to join us. He's a great interview.
Is he? I've never met him or talked to him before.
He just enjoys himself.
Okay.
So
all right.
looking forward to that. L Train at 3 o'clock. We'll get back to the NFL for a moment here. We have the list of announcers for opening weekend of the NFL season. Do you have any questions about who's going to be the announcers on TV for any of the games?
Not at all.
No? You don't even care about your game tomorrow night?
I don't care about
Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles? You don't care? There's going to be Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge?
Nah.
With Kaylee Hartung?
Nah.
On the sideline?
I might have it on mute. I might listen to 610 WIP in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? The hometown station out there in Philly. I might check that out.
Yesterday, as you'll remember, we were talking about the fact that there aren't that many games on Sunday. So we're wondering, what's the feature game on CBS? The big game on Fox is going to be the Cowboys and the Browns, and that'll be where Tom Brady makes his debut. Yeah. The big game, apparently, for CBS on Sunday, Jim Nantz and Tony Romo will be calling the Raiders at Chargers. That's the big game. Yeah.
I guess Harbaugh's debut. You got Herbert and Raiders have a following. There's
not that many big AFC games to choose from.
Right.
This week.
Yeah.
The Patriots are nothing now. The Jets aren't playing until, Monday night.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. All the big games are Thursday, Friday, and Monday, pretty much. And I applaud the NFL for having this Thursday night game, having tomorrow's game. I'll be watching both. But like you said yesterday, it does take away from some of the luster of Sunday.
Yep. Maybe we're old school, Maybe now it's like, who cares if it's Sunday?
Right.
I'd rather watch the primetime games.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting team in the NFC that the 49ers will obviously be concerned with since they're an NFC West team. The Seattle Seahawks, according to this athletic poll, they're trying it this year in a way that teams don't usually try it.
What?
Their offensive line coach is a guy named Scott Huff. Okay, who cares about the line coach? Their offensive coordinator's named Ryan Grubb. All right, good for him. Combined, their new O-line coach and offensive coordinator have a combined total of 0 years of NFL experience. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the O-line coach and the new coordinator.
What are they doing over there? Right away, he's like, I don't know. Wow, that's pretty interesting. I understand, running out some new guys, the young regime coming in, all that, but
they've got a new
coach. Yeah, Mike McDonald.
Right.
37 years old from Boston, Massachusetts. He's got a little bit of experience.
Sure. Yeah. He was, let's see.
Ravens.
Yeah. Here's what one executive says of the Seahawks. I think they will do some things week one that will be very different from what the NFL has seen. They come from that analytics heavy Baltimore, Michigan mindset. Yeah. They will take pride in the smarter than everyone else type stuff right out of the gate. Seattle's going to be doing things where the narrative could be, whoa, how about this? College making its way to the NFL. So I don't know, but that's something to keep your eye on. Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan
analytics
of that.
heavy Seahawks.
You know that's the analytics. I'm just, it's a tool, yes, but if you're basing your coaching decisions, like it's almost like, having an AI as a head coach, artificial intelligence. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, where's the experience? Where's the history? Where's the emotion? Where's the gut feeling? If you're just looking at a sheet, we just going to go for it here. That says go for it on 4th and 2 in this situation. We'll see how it works, but I'm not a fan of that at all. It's what are we doing?
I'm curious to see how it's going to work, and I'm with you. I suspect it will fail miserably.
Yes, I suspect that
anytime
as well.
Somebody comes in and is like, hey, no one's done this.
Right.
Well, then we'll do it. We'll show them.
Try to reinvent the wheel.
Typically, there's a reason why no one's doing it.
Right. And it screams of being the smartest person in the room. I'm smarter than all these other guys. Right. I got these, analytics and numbers and computer programs or whatever it is. I'll show you guys. And like you said, it flames out probably in a year or two.
How tough do you think the NFC West is, comparing it to other divisions? Your division, NFC East, there's two pretty good teams, right? And two dogs in there.
Washington's might be a surprise. We've had esteemed.
Don't buy into that, Drake.
No, we've had esteemed guests come on and say Washington.
Yeah,
we've
had guests, and we put their feet to the fire. Give us a surprise team. Washington? That would be a surprise, right?
That's not how they say it.
That's what Ross said. He goes, you said a surprise.
All right. No, when I look at the divisions, I look at, we're just talking NFC, NFC West. I think the Rams are legit. I think they're a playoff caliber team. Niners, obviously. Seattle, maybe a 500 team. And I'm not buying in on Arizona. Mm-hmm. And so if I were to rank the NFC divisions by how good I think they are, I'd probably go NFC North 1.
With the Lions and the Packers.
Yeah, and I think the Bears are going to make some huge strides.
Yes.
I'd go the NFC East 2, because you really have 2 Super Bowl contenders. I know the Cowboys have failed, but talent-wise and operation, like, they'll be 12 wins, 11 wins, something like that. I got the NFC West, the 3rd, and NFC South, the worst division in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
And that's no bias or anything. That's just, I just tell you exactly how I feel. It's no bias.
Oh, you just went with the NFC North because you're from Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Who's that clown, man? That guy, I've been on here a year hyping up Philly, everything Philly. And this guy's like, Drapes, how are you an Eagles fan when you're from Chicago? It got over my head. I'm like, what is he talking about?
I shouldn't even have gone back.
I'll be honest. I started to cut it and make it a drop, but it was like, he's so far off. That's not even funny.
That's not even funny, man. My boy Lionel Simmons, he'll back me up on that. L Train will back me up on that.
Mm-hmm. I think the 49ers win the division easily. Unless if there's anything easily. Unless there's anything to that. Why not? You said it yourself. No, you're not impressed with the Rams. You said it yourself.
I didn't say that. I didn't say I wasn't impressed. I said the Rams are legit. Not necessarily a suit, but they only won the game by a division by a game last season. Let's not forget that. The Rams were pretty decent last season.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you say easily, what does that mean? Like 2 or 3 games, do you think?
I think they're capable of it. I think they're that much better, and I think their defense is going to be better. The thing is, it's one of these variables that I know I always discount, but we've seen teams go to the Super Bowl and then the next year, happened to your team last year, it took a while to catch up to them, but teams just typically the year after you lose the Super Bowl and something bad happens.
Something happens, right? Something happens. We've talked about it. What is it, 9 years since the Seahawks went to back-to-back Super Bowls, last team to go 2 straight in the NFC. Here's the thing about it, Whitey, and I had to eat a huge piece of humble pie last season.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at it, I thought the Eagles, fresh off a loss to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, would come back hungry, ready, set to go. Boy, was I wrong. I didn't see what happened coming. What happened last season, I could not have foreseen that. And so my advice to Niners Nation, Bang Bang Niner Gang, Jay, is let it play out. Don't get all, conceited and cocky and everything like that, because as I can attest to, the fall from the grace is hard.
By the way, the 49ers won the division.
2 games, right?
2 games.
Yeah, 2 games.
Your apology is accepted.
2 games. That's not running away with it, though. That's the Rams.
I didn't say they did last year. I say they will this year.
Are the Rams not a better team? Like, can the Rams?
Donald.
Can that's one player.
He's pretty good, though.
That's one player. The Niners are older. They don't have Dre Greenlaw to start the season. Why are the Niners the only team allowed to be better in the NFC?
Well,
why can't the Eagles be better? Not they actually aren't. My Eagles are especially offensively are right there. The Lions, don't sleep on the Lions. They can do things on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The homer takes in this town is killing me. Can I get some objective, non-biased NFL discussion?
Let me give you this from NFL executives, anonymous NFL executives. Number 1, San Francisco 49ers. That's not biased.
No, it has to. How do they have the guy has the Eagles ranked number 10? What non-biased person would really think the Eagles are the 10th best team in the conference?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's anonymous, so we don't know. We don't know. But when I said they clearly have the most talent, I specifically was talking about the division. You're right. I mean, they're very talented. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, the Lions, the Eagles, I mean, that's kind of an open question. But in terms of the division, I think the 49ers.
They are. But, it's...
But so what?
So what? Exactly. I like I said, I looked at what happened with the Eagles last year, and to me, nothing is guaranteed. That last year showed me nothing is guaranteed. And let's not forget, and I understand, couple of years last year the defense wasn't, you change out defensive coordinators, but we don't know how Sorensen is going to do. We don't know how it's going to be. We got to let it play out, Whitey. That's all I'm saying.
And I know I'm repeating myself, but to me, that's where the improvement has to come from. If their defense is one that teams start to feel, and if it becomes like, wow, forget the offense, you got to worry about the Niner defense. If that's the case, they're going to the Super Bowl. If it's not the case, if they're still looking for answers, then it's wide open.
Right.
They might not even win the division if that's the case.
Really?
If the defense is like, continues to regress from where they were last year, they'd be in trouble. Well, I don't think that'll happen, but they need the defense. They need to get after the quarterback this year.
Here's the thing too, Whitey. There always seems to be some surprises, every NFL season. My Eagles last year were a surprise. Like how
Some
badly
were surprised, others were not.
Not that bad. I mean, they were pretty bad. They were pretty bad.
Yeah, they just fell off the table. It was shocking.
It was, but you could see some of the cracks at the seam. They were winning games by the hair of their chinny chin. Like they were winning games they probably should have lost, and it finally caught up with them. I believe part of the issue, obviously, there were some things, inner workings. But the Eagles might have believed the press clippings, might have got too big for their britches. Jalen Hurts may have gotten too big for his britches. And so they needed to be humbled like they were last season. Now I want to see how they bounce back this season.
I think they should have moved on from their coach. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. Let me that's a good point you make. Let me bring this up. Even though he led you to the Super Bowl the year before, the way last year went down, is enough to he got to go.
Yeah, I think so. If the relationship with the quarterback's broken and you're committed to your quarterback, that's one of those. Well, who are we behind? Which of those two guys? And it's typically these days it ain't the coach.
Yeah, it won't be. I'm telling you, Nick Sirianni has the potential to be the first coach fired.
Yeah,
I give it 4 or 5 games. If they get off to a 1-3 start, 2-4, he's gone. They're not going. They're going to right the ship right there.
I got to ask you this: a very ignorant geographical question, so I apologize. People from New Jersey, are some of them Eagles fans, or does it depend where in Jersey? Or
I mean, Jersey, it's split in half.
Would Jason Thompson be an Eagles fan? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, what part of Jersey was he from?
I know he went to Ryder,
and he's from Medford. No,
he's a coach and writer still too.
Is he the coach and writer?
He's assistant coach.
No, I think he would probably be a Jets or Jets or Giants. We'll have to ask him that. We'll have to ask him.
Yes, Jason Thompson, the Sacramento Kings all-time leader in games played, joins us next on Sactown Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. Real, local, experienced litigators, and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Oh, we're very excited to have a special guest joining us today. He was a number 12 pick, 2008 NBA draft, Kings all-time leader in games played. And he was just selected by our panel, number 28 on the all-time list of top 40 Sacramento Kings. Pleasure to welcome to the Drive Guys, Jason Thompson. How are you, JT?
What's going on, Sactown family? How you guys doing?
Good, good. Happy to have you on, man. It's exciting for us.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing you guys, from afar. Love the work you guys been doing, and I'm just most importantly happy for the city, and it turning around with the arena, and great things with the team, man. I was there, for the first playoff game. Against the Warriors in that series. It was electric for game 1 and game 2. So I was glad I was able to be there.
Jason, one of the things I think of when I think of your time here, you were just so solid. And obviously the Kings were not as an organization. There was a lot going on, and you were a young player and you were one of the centerpieces there. How difficult was that for you as a young player, trying to find your way at a time when the team and the organization, they were in some ways trying to find their way?
It's crazy that you bring that up, just because now I'm on the other side as a coach. So I know how important it is for one, success as a team, but one, success for a player in their development. And, with me being a coach now, I can see how important it is to have that player and coach camaraderie. With being with Sacramento for 7 seasons, I had 7 different coaches.
Come on.
Come on. Wow. And that will be there's got to be a Sactown trivia if you guys even do that to name all 7 coaches. I would love for any fan to say that. And like you said, there was no off season where I can come to the practice facility and have anyone there. And then also another thing was, after every season, we weren't even sure if the Kings were even going to stay in Sacramento. You're dealing with all this stuff, and it has to not even deal with on the court. So, you have those times where you have the Brent Browns of the world with the Sixers, where he was able to do the trust the process, but it still was the same coach, even if it was different players. So, for me, I tell people this story a lot. It was more of survival rather than actually worry about winning. So, I've dealt with so many great lottery pick players. Unfortunately for them, either good or bad if they were there or if they got traded, but it was just tough to be able to develop players because no coach was there longer than one season.
Wow, man. Jason Thompson joining us. JT, let's continue that conversation. How was it in the locker room with the players? Like, how did you guys, put on the jersey and still try to compete and play hard night in and night out?
To be fair, I mean, one thing about, I appreciate you saying solid. It was one of my maturity. I had to mature, faster than the average just because, you really couldn't say what you wanted to say to the media, right? To be a professional. We always talk about performing, but you got to be smart to do stuff, with stuff, off the court as well. So, like I said, I had so many different, great teammates and stuff, but, never had a system that we were able to develop with. So really, you didn't know the finished product of guys and their high potential. So, like I said, I mean, I had Reggie Theus when I was there, and then he gets fired mid-season. Then we get Kenny Nat. And then in my next season, we had Paul Westphal, rest in peace. And then we had Keith Smart. And then we had Mike Malone. And then Tyrone Corbin. And then to finish off, it was the Hall of Famer George Karl. So, there's
a 7 right there.
I just named 2 Hall of Fame coaches, and then even Mike Malone now has a championship as well. And it has success, but then just couldn't find a certain type of rhythm with the organization. So, with me, there was some development and like the best numbers. I had solid numbers my rookie year. Into my second year, statistically was the best that I had. And then, it was just tough, to be honest, to play with Boogie, to be honest, and for him, it was tough too, because for him to be a leader, and he didn't really have that veteran there to help him be a leader. He had all the talent in the world, but, for him to have, the career that he had, obviously he had success, but for him to get over that hump, which is tough because he never really had anybody to be able to make him accountable. And he for sure didn't have a coach because they weren't there long enough.
Jason Thompson with us. Is it true, JT, that he was out one game, Boogie was out, you go for 20 and 20, and everyone's congratulating you, and Boogie says, hey, don't get used to that because I'm coming back?
I don't know where that clip is, but it's for sure a true statement, man. Hey, man, this is how we work. I got plenty of other stories too. But like you said, man, it's just tough, especially when you have some young, talented teams. It's me. You had Dante Green. You had Marcus Thornton, Jimmer Fredetts of the world, Nick Stauskas, Brent McLemore. Really, really talented guys. But like you said, if you had the right commodity, you never know what was going to happen. So, I came back and, you saw, I don't know what you guys call it in that area near the arena where that first playoff game, it was kind of like how Jurassic Park is for Toronto.
Yeah.
I get out the Uber, man, and it was just pandemonium, for myself. So it was just a great feeling. That was my first time even being in that area. And then, like I said, I got goosebumps just, being around there because, like I said, it was tough going to a training camp, not preparing for a championship, but really preparing for, hey, let's just, like you said, you're playing for a second contract per se, rather than winning games in survival mode. And I guess for some guys, it was like, I hope for some of them, they were trying to be in the league. It was either their last ride, or it was like, hey, I hope I don't get traded, or I hope I don't get cut or released. So it was definitely some tough times.
Right. Hey, Jason, as you talk about these tough times, one of the things I maintain is, culture is important. Do you feel like, some of the players you guys had come through yourself, really couldn't achieve, their optimal potential because of 7 coaches, the threat of moving? Like, how do you think that impacted people's careers during that time?
Man, a lot. I mean, I go to just with the situation of, I guess maybe for instance, Jimmer, right? He was like the Johnny Manziel of basketball per se, but like I said, high character guy, great background, great college career. And then you have Isaiah Thomas as the last pick in the draft. And the pressure that he had to be a lottery pick, but then, you see IT's maturation where you have this talented kid who's, I forget what they call the last pick in the draft.
Mr. Irrelevant? Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Irrelevant. You have that type of caliber guy, and then IT comes in there with like, hey, I'm playing with full whatever situation, and he would come in there and just have crazy sparks. So now he's a fan favorite, and not saying Jimmer wasn't, but then it's just like, all right, he has all these expectations. Then you have the last pick in the similar positions because they couldn't really play together. And that's just one of the situations, right? Then you got the same thing with Ben McLemore, who had tons of talent out of Kansas, a lot of winning, atmospheres. But like I said, man, it's just the development. And now being around it, I was with the Warriors, after I was with the Kings and learning that thing and knowing like, hey, I remember being there when playing against Steph, Draymond, and Clay when they weren't a good team, with the Warriors and stuff. And then them still having, they get the extra piece of Bogut. You add a veteran guy in Iguodala, and now they're a championship caliber team, with those different pieces. So, like I said, there was times where I remember Oracle, no offense to the Warriors fans, there was no one at the games. And then now, you couldn't get a ticket, years later, when Mark Jackson and then obviously with Steve Kerr. So, like you said, it's very, very important. And I forgot to even say, I was there with the Maloofs. So then the Maloofs were there, and then you're changing to Vivek. So now you're changing from coaches to ownerships and
everything.
It was a big thing, man. And obviously, time heals all wounds with the situations, but then also too, man, Kings fans had to go through a lot when you have the glory days to those days, and then now the days you guys are going through now with getting DeMar and you have Sabonis and Fox and Monk. You have a great chance of doing great things this season.
Yeah, catching up with Jason Thompson. You mentioned that Isaiah Thomas is a fan favorite, and it's clear here from the way people are responding. The last couple of weeks, we've had these, votes and polls, and you're a fan favorite. My wife, one time, when fans got to go on the court before the game, I mean, she put her foot next to yours. She'll never forget that. You were very gracious. And I'm just wondering, kind of a personal question, how does it feel to you personally, having gone through all that, and now all these years later, you're beloved by Sacramento fans. They have a very special place in their hearts for you. How does that feel?
It's a great feeling. I mean, I'm a young kid out of New Jersey. I'm sure maybe on draft day, not too many people would know where Rider University is. And then, I was 21 years old, and I think at the time, they had the pep rally at Arden Mall, and then, like you said, the whole mall's going crazy and stuff like that, and then going right into the mix and going to Vegas Summer League, and then I think I hit a buzzer beater to win the first game, and I just had a chip on my shoulder just knowing that, the mid-major guys at the time, there wasn't too many of us. I wanted to just prove my worth. And I tried to even do that in a tough situation, with coaching changes and things like that. And I would even say the story of my career has just been coaching changes, even when I went abroad as well, too.
Wow.
But like I said, you have that player coach open door policy, which maybe back in the day, it didn't really happen. So, I do think of, there's sometimes of regret of like what would happen if you did have a certain system or you were with another coach. And like I said, even with me, like, I'm having double doubles a certain night, and then now you're drafting another power forward in I'm signing my 5-year deal, and you're drafting Thomas Robinson. You know what I mean? So there's just certain things where it's like, show me your actions more than your words. So for me, it's definitely a great, going back to Sac and showing love, because I know it was tough times, because I know how much I loved to win. and you work so hard in these off seasons, and if you're not prepared for a championship, man, you don't know what your mindset is.
Right.
So I appreciate you telling me that story as well.
Hey, Jason, who were some of the guys you bonded with during your time here in Sac? Some of your closest teammates?
Well, my vet was Brad Miller. Great dude. It was one of the first guys I saw when I came to the arena.
Yeah.
I was his rook. So that's when I wasn't getting those checks yet. And I had to get the breakfast in the morning and all those type of things. Bobby Jackson was on that team too. And that's where the infamous, I might've been the first person where I got my car popcorn and it became viral. That was a viral moment that at the time sucked, but it's just something to laugh at.
And then wasn't it Dante Green, and then he did Bobby Jackson back, and it's like, you don't do that, right? And that was a big thing.
No, Dante did, and Dante, close friend, pretty much a brother as well. And like I said, not too many people know that story, but Dante retaliated, and that was not. He tried to throw me on the bus. I was like, "You my boy, but you ain't my boy today." And one dude that I give a lot of credit to with the mindset and having you locked in was Francisco Garcia.
Yeah.
Man, just a guy that helped me out with off the court and saying, "Hey, man, if you want to, stick into this league, you got to be here and don't worry about all the noise and all that type of stuff." So I give Francisco a lot of credit because he helped me out with a lot of things as well too.
Yeah, Jason Thompson, our guest. How important was it for you to not get dunked on? I saw an interview that you did about a year ago. Is it true that you would talk to some of the guys like Blake and say, "Hey, we're going to compete, but let's not get carried away"? You didn't want to get dunked on, a highlight version, right?
Well, if anything, it was more of like you do. I would pray before. You pray and you wake up, or you pray for when you eat your food. I just remember I would pray, obviously, to have a good game. But, when you played the Clippers in Lob City, this is the time where DeAndre Jordan was dunking on Brandon
Knight. Yeah.
Oh, man. And then Blake was dunking on Miles Golf and Kendrick Perkins. And like I said, we're talking about it. We don't even need YouTube to look at it. It's going to be in our minds, rent free. I was like, please don't let me be on one of them. Please. But like I said, we had some good battles with them as well, and got some dubs. So part of that story is definitely accurate. But I didn't talk to them like that. But like I said, those are the days where you had two big, like you had a 4-man and a 5-man, a Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, and a Zach Randolph and a Marcus Sol. So it's crazy how the game has changed since then as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, real quick, tell me about the summer of 2015. You get traded to Philly, and then they swing a trade to, explain how that all went down. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I actually would have my annual camp out in Sacramento, in every summer. And then my agent had called me, and Leon Rose at the time, who's the president of the Knicks, and he goes, "Hey, you got traded." And, like I said, this is something where, like I said, I got drafted by, I grew up into a man in that city of Sacramento, to be honest, 21 and then leaving at, 27, 28. And when he was like, "You won't believe the team." And then he's telling me Philly. And, at the time, Sac we weren't good. We had, some talent, but we weren't good. But Philly was worse at the time. And, they were in the middle of the trust the process. So I was trying to understand this. And, I'm a basketball junkie. So I'm like, all right, Joel Embiid, Okafor, Nerlens Noel. And then I think Carl Landry was in that as well, who was my teammate then too. So it wasn't making sense. So then, like I said, I was bought in, and then I knew people on the staff. And like I said, then my agent hit me up probably, I think it was a month after, and then saying you're going to the Warriors right after they won the first championship. So, the mindset had changed. And like I said, I never had been traded before. So, moving wasn't tough because even in my off seasons, I stayed in Philly as well. So, I wouldn't have had to move too much. But like I said, that was a big thing too, because another coaching situation. after they won that first championship, Steve Kerr didn't start off the season coaching. It was Luke Walton.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you have that style of play where we actually had the best start in NBA history that year.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would come off the bench sometimes, then they're like, hey, we're playing here, you're starting, we would win. So it was one of them where it's like, you know, you're winning, you're playing some minutes, this, that, and the third, which, you know, for me, it was just good to just win as well, too. And then that's why I learned about, you know, the winning culture, sacrificing certain things for a team. But I knew the definition of a team because I started getting closer to Steph and Clay and Draymond and, you know, learning that, you know, I knew Mo Spates from my draft, you know, as well. I knew Iguodala because he's, you know, played for the Sixers as well. So, you know, it definitely was a lot. And then, like I said, then I didn't finish the season with the Warriors, and then I went to the Raptors, and that was my first playoffs that I ever experienced. You know, Dwayne Casey gave me a shot and put me in the starting lineup as well, too, you know, at times. So, you know, I'm really blessed about, you know, that situation because, like I said, it was the first time being in a you know, sorry to say, but in a winning culture at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jason Thompson with us. You're, as you said, you're an assistant now at Ryder, and having 7 coaches in 7 years was less than ideal. But I'm wondering if, in a way, if it benefited you as a coach to be exposed to so many different styles. Like I said, you would rather have one coach for a long time, but now as you're coaching, is it beneficial to have seen, you know, some really good coaches in there too, to see how, all the different styles and all the different approaches that some coaches have?
Yeah, because I know how important it is to have a great relationship with your coach. I think for me, you know, and showing actually, you know, like I said, I still was playing at the time. It was year 14. I had kind of pulled a muscle at the time, and I was going to the practice gym, and they were seeing how I was running the workouts and also the pickups. We're talking, you know, like I said, organized pickup, but you know, with these young guys these days, they just want to play and they'll get by him and dunk. And I'm just like, no, you got to talk on defense, this, that, and the third. So they're like, yo, if you ever want to, you know, come on board, you know, the guys will love you because if we see how they gravitate to you. And like I said, for me, it's just like, I just still wanted to be around the game, and I love teaching. You know, most of the time, especially in college, I was a leader on my team. Even in SAC, you know, I was becoming a vet, but I was telling these young guys, hey, man, if you want to stay in the league, do this. You know, I was telling them a lot of things, even behind the scenes, if it wasn't, you know, out loud. So I know how important it is, one, to be in teammates and having a competitive edge as well, too, but still having a great relationship with your teammates off the court as well. And like, even if you know, got into it with them on the court, it was no hard feelings off of it. And that's something I never really experienced playing wise. But what a better person to do it when I've experienced it, you know, at the highest of levels in the NBA and in the highest of levels overseas as well, too.
Yeah.
Do some of your players now ask you about Steph Curry, and how many stories do you tell from your time with the Warriors?
Yeah, for sure. You know, they always ask me, you know, who's the, you know, the best player that you play with. And, you know, I would say, you know, him, and I would you know, I always would say too, you know, a very, very humble, you know, superstar. You know, and like I said, I was around him more, even in the division. You know, we're playing him 4 times. So I remember when he was having the ankle injuries and stuff, and everyone's saying that, you know, he won't become even close to what he's became now. So I just say that, like, you know, even if you get knocked down a few times, you know, you never give up. And, you know, the work that he's put in, you know, on and off the court, you know, the type of role model he is as a father and a husband, you know, and just leader of his team, you know, speaks volumes and stuff. So like I said, I learned you know, a lot just from being around him and even that team and my teammates. So they definitely, you know, ask about that, and like I said, I try to let them know as much as I can just to help them out as much as I can as well.
Hey, JT, my understanding is that your least favorite city to travel to and play in was OKC, and not so much because of OKC, but a lot of factors. How big of a factor was it that you you guys stayed at the haunted hotel then, right?
Hotel,
How
Right.
big
I
of
was
a
gonna,
factor was that? Yeah.
I was going to say that helped my case when like Nate Robinson came out and said that the sheets like rose up and they touched the mirror, and a lot of teams didn't stay in that hotel. They would go, even if the team did, the players would pay the extra money to go and stay in the hotel next door, which is wild. So yeah, so that was, and at the time when I was in the league, KD had a restaurant, right in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
So I didn't even explore. Everyone was just like, yo, we're just going to go to KD's restaurant, and that was it. So I didn't even really have a tour. Like I said, it's not like one of them Charles Barkley's where, there's big women in San Antonio. I wasn't trying to hate. I wasn't trying to hate on OKC in their city, but, I know one thing. I know I'm not going on. If I got vacation time, I'm not going to Oklahoma City.
That ain't your first choice, right? I get
exactly.
it. I get it.
Stay at the Scurvy.
Hey, JT, you got to be an Eagles fan, right? Growing up in the part of Jersey you grew up in. Don't tell me you're a Giants or Jets fan or anything like that, right?
Big time fly, Eagles fly, man.
Yeah, my guy. That's what I'm talking about.
We got a big game tomorrow, man. Big one.
I'm with you. I grew up. I'm from Philly. I grew up in Philly, man, and so I'm like, oh, he went to Ryder. Was born in, I think it was Mount Laurel.
Yeah.
You were born in, which is a stone's throw from Philly. And so, how are our Eagles looking this year, man? What do you think?
I think we're going to be all right. I mean, I know that we had that collapse second half of the season, man. And you know what's crazy? It's like I've been a diehard even during the Ray Rose and Rich Kotite.
Ooh,
that's what I'm saying. Like all them days where it was the non-glory days, and then now, so there's no bandwagon. But yeah, man, I just think that one thing I knew, I was like, being in locker rooms, I'm like, I know there's something that has to be going on in the locker room, right?
Mm-hmm.
During that time. So it's like, dang, like I wish I could know more information.
Right.
And so, but like I said, man, on paper, man, we should be really good. I'm not really worried about the Cowboys. I ain't worried about the Giants or the Commanders. But like I said, it's one of them one game at a time mentality.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think we became, they always talk about the Cowboys as America's team. I think when obviously the Chiefs, rightfully so, but if it's not after the Chiefs, it's us who everyone wants to talk about.
You hear that? You hear that, boys?
You just said the Eagles are America's team?
Hold on.
What?
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah,
I didn't say America's team, but I also to say I forgot what area I'm talking to right now.
No, bro. Hey, you know how we are though. Us Eagles fans, we don't duck the smoke, JT. You know that. We ain't ducking no smoke.
I see the logo in the background as well. So small Eagles story. So when I still was with the Kings, we going and the Eagles played the Raiders when they still were in Oakland. And I'm just thinking, I'm such a diehard, but I know how crazy the Raiders fans are. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to wear too much Eagles stuff, but I'm going to wear a hat. So long story short, we're going. This is actually the time when Nick Foles was the quarterback. And he could have got the touchdown record, and we were up by so much. I think, what's his name? The coach, Doug Peterson took him out. They were booing him. But then it was like when I got into the arena, everyone's like, yo, JT, it's all love, man. We follow you, man. So we're not going to come at you for wearing Eagle stuff. But it's all love. It's all love, man. It's all love. So it was it's a lot of love in that Northern California area for sure.
Yeah. It's really a pleasure catching up with you. We appreciate it. We know you're busy. We'd love to have you on anytime. You got something you need to share, or just want to come on anytime. Thank you, Jason. Congratulations on being named by our esteemed panel one of the top 40 Sacramento Kings of all time.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Hey, anytime you guys want to, talk, I'm for it. So we'd love to talk again, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
We'll talk maybe when the 49ers beat the Eagles in the
NFC
playoffs.
Championship game. Let's go. We're going to have you on before that.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you, JT.
Pleasure,
all right, man.
All right, talk to you guys later.
Yeah, we appreciate it. How about that? 7 years, 7 coaches.
That's unbelievable.
It almost is.
The instability. And it's affected players' careers, Whitey. Impacted their careers.
We've got another Kings legend coming up, Lionel Simmons.
I'm excited
he is
about
an Eagles
this.
fan. You know, Lionel Simmons got to be an Eagles fan.
Got to
right?
be an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
L-Train.
L-Train rolls into a Sactown Sports next on Sactown Sports.
Hey, listen up. This is your Sactown Sports live events calendar. First on the lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival coming September 12th through the 15th. And then rock out to Zeppelin USA at Thunder Valley on September 19th. On September 20th, laugh your heart out with comedy superstar Nikki Glazer at Thunder Valley. And the laughs keep on coming on September 21st with George Lopez when he takes the stage at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. If you're a country fan, you won't want to miss Winona Judd at Hard Rock Live on September 28th. And then on October 4th, comedy legend Rob Schneider is bringing the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. On October 20th, you don't want to miss Renee Vaca as he brings his hilarious stand-up to the Crest Theater. And finally, gear up for the ultimate Halloween bash with a $5,000 costume contest. It's Sinners and Saints Saturday at Thunder Valley on Saturday, October 26th. Costumes, music, and plenty of thrills. And that's your Sactown Sports live events calendar. For details, go to SactownSports.com. And stay locked on to Sactown Sports for your chance to win tickets.
I just don't like going to church, man. I don't like the people there. People at church have like coworker vibes.
Ralph Barbosa, the super cool ass tour.
Like some of them are cool, but most of them, you know, they're just being fake nice because they want that promotion. Like if those are the people that are going to be hanging out in heaven, I just go to hell.
Saturday, September 7th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the hilarious Ralph Barbosa live.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers, a plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
A new Honda? Nice. Well, it was like this. It was a super hot day, so we all stopped for some ice cream. When bam, the AC went out. My dad started sweating and was all, man, I stink. And my brother was like, I hate this car. And my mom was all, I'm dying in here. Then I said, it's time to call Stockton Honda. Then Dad was like, honey, you're right. I knew you were my favorite. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue.
StocktonHonda.com. KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Yeah, we just caught up with Jason Thompson. That went really well, except for the part where he tried to sell us on the idea that the Cowboys aren't America's team, the Eagles are.
Yeah, we're the most talked about team next to the Chiefs, baby. America's pulling for us.
And we've got another Kings legend joining us now. He was the number 7 pick in the 1990 draft, spent 7 seasons with the Kings. He was all-rookie first team, scored 42 against Phoenix as a rookie, and he was just selected by our panel as number 20, ranked number 20 on the all-time Sacramento Kings top 40 for 40 seasons. Lionel Simmons, the L Train, with us. How are you today, Lionel?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, we're really appreciating your time here. How challenging was it for you to find your place in the NBA with a Kings team that was, in some ways they were trying to find their place in the NBA as a franchise?
I think I had somewhat of an advantage at the time because I played 4 years of college and came in with a little bit of experience, and I was able to play a lot. I remember Coach Marta coming in and talking to me and saying I was going to play a lot. So I was able to play through my mistakes, and I was able to get a rhythm early and didn't get pulled out. So that allows you to get a little confidence. And I think that kind of gave me a leeway going into my rookie year.
L Train is Kyle Draper, man. Please forgive my co-host for starting the interview off that way. L Train, I'm from West Oak Lane, Philadelphia.
Wow,
this isn't, we got to start right there. Exactly. We got to start right there. What's the most underrated cheesesteak spot in Philly, and why is it Explorer's Den?
Underrated cheesesteak spot.
Like everybody talking Pat's and Geno's and Jim's. I'm at Explorer's Den all the time, baby.
So Del Sandros, I'll give you a good story. So my coach is from Roxborough, and Del Sandros is right around the corner from his house.
Okay.
I'm from South Philly, so I'm about 5 blocks from Geno's and Pat.
Yep.
I thought that was the best cheesesteaks ever until Coach Mars kept pushing Del Sandros. So in my opinion, Del Sandros is probably the best because we were right on campus. Now, we went to the Explorer's Den, but it was only late at night once we kind of hung out a little bit.
So now we can talk
So that means you're an Eagles fan too, I take it.
Die-hard Eagles fans, season ticket holder for the last
What is going on around here?
He's a season ticket holder, he said. How we looking this year, L Train? How we looking?
So I think our team is really good. We got to hope that Hurts steps up and we sort of gets a little revenge from last year. He kind of didn't play too well toward the end of the season. But we got good receivers. We got a good offensive line. We got a good defensive line. So I think we're going to be pretty good. I think we should be able to run that conference and smash the Cowboys.
Who worries you the most in the NFC? It's got to be the Niners, right?
Yeah, the Niners are the top team. They got probably the most explosive team, probably one of the better defenses. But I like our chances against them. Detroit's another good team that's up and coming to play real well. Should have won the conference last year, but they kind of gave it away. So those are probably the top 3 teams.
All right, this is why we got L Train on. He's my guy, man.
How do we get 2 Kings on back-to-back, former Kings, and they're both diehard Eagles fans?
Yeah, we just had Jason Thompson on right before you, and
that's what's up.
Yeah, so we got like an hour of Eagles talk going on out here in Sacramento right now. But L Train, back to basketball. Tell me about just your rookie season, coming in as the all-time leading scorer in college basketball, NCAA, and what were the expectations, I guess, placed on your shoulders coming into Sac?
So coming in, we were it was 4 rookies drafted in the first round. So the expectations wasn't too high. It was kind of just to get a chance for the rookies to play, to try to get them some experience and try to grow for the future. And I think that started to happen, but it was a slow progress for us because playing 4 rookies, quite naturally we struggled. The West was really good with Portland at the time and Seattle. But it was a chance for us to get some experience and a chance to play and to get our feet wet a little bit and to find our way a little bit in the league. And I thought it was some rough experiences, I'll be honest with you. But we had the loyal support of the fans throughout, and they kind of hung in there with us throughout the thick and thin. And we kind of got a little better toward the end of my career. But it was always a joy to play in Sacramento, and their support pushed us through a lot of rough times during my first few years in Sacramento.
Speaking of that support, L Train, and I know by 96 you were towards the end of your career, but you were on that team that got into the playoff series against Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
How loud was that Arco crowd during that 1996 series against the Seattle Sonics?
It's crazy. Arco was always loud. It's crazy because we weren't winning, but it was loud. And then when we got to the playoffs, we split the first two in Seattle, and we came back home to Sacramento, and it was just going crazy and crazy there. And we just always had the greatest fans. I'm not sure if they had the cowbells, but I know it was just loud as hell in Arco Arena.
If Mitch hadn't sprained his ankle, you guys might have won that series, right?
Yeah, Mitch was obviously our best player and one of the great players of all time. And he got hurt and slowed us down a little bit. But that Seattle team was really good. They had Peyton and Sean Kemp. So they were a really good team. But we definitely had a better chance of beating them with Mitch than without him.
Lionel Simmons joining us here on the Drive, guys. L Train, you came up in the era where, Michael Jordan really started to ascend and be that guy. Can you tell us any stories from some of your playing days, whether it's Jordan, Peyton, whoever, that might have, did some talking or anything? I view you as a guy, when you play, you just handled your business, not a whole lot of talking.
Playing the Bulls at that time, they were just dominating the league at that time. So it wasn't much talk going on against the Bulls. I can tell you that right now.
Nice shot.
But we had Mitch. So Mitch always gave us a good shot. Mitch at least gave us a chance with Michael, and they did their thing, of course. But it was just a really exciting time to play against one of the greatest teams of all time. But there wasn't much trash talk from us. We were just trying to keep the place as best we could.
I wanted to ask you about a couple of your teammates. Rest in peace, Tizzy. What was it like playing with Wayman Tisdale and Antoine Carr, a couple of your front court mates? What was it like having those guys as teammates?
Tizzy was my guy. Tizzy was my vet. Rest in peace. Wayman was the guy you go to his house for Thanksgiving. He was the family man, and always loved Wayman and always respected Wayman. Great player, but even a better bass player. So that was just the type of person he was and player he was. Antoine was the fishing man. Antoine, I remember, just would go fishing. He'd come back 2 days later in the same outfit, but he was one of those fishing guys. He was a country boy, but really, really great leadership from those guys, and kind of showed us the way a little bit as rooks. Those were our vets on the team, and we learned a lot from them.
What was it like for you, man, being a guy from Philly, South Philly, played your college ball in Philly, to come to Sacramento at that time? What were your first impressions when you hopped off that plane?
So, coming from where I came from, I was ready to go.
I feel you. I feel you on that.
Sacramento, 3,000 miles away, I was just excited about obviously being in the NBA, and I hadn't known much about Sacramento. So I was excited to be there. I knew it was California. I knew it would be better weather than in Philadelphia. So I was just excited to be there and to be a part of the league and to have that whole experience.
Mm-hmm. Could I ask, is it odd now when you're watching a game to see one of your former teammates as a referee, Leon Wood, officiating games? Is that a little odd?
Yeah, I see a lot of the officials, not a lot, but a few officials, as well as some former teammates coaching and GMs and so on. But time goes on, and those guys are, that's what they wanted to do, and I congratulate them. I think they do a great job.
L Train, when you see, your tenure in Sacramento, then we had the 16-year playoff drought. Now the Kings are back up. Do you keep an eye on what they're doing? And what do you think about, Sacramento finally having a team that could contend for the playoffs year in and year out?
Well, I follow Sacramento throughout. Obviously, that's the only team I ever played for. So aside from the Sixers, Sacramento is my second team. I like the fact that they are competitive now. They put together a great nucleus. I think the GM, they got a great coach in Mike Brown. I think they're on their way to being one of those perennial teams that'll be a playoff team, as well as hopefully contending for the conference championship. But they put together a great staff, and I think they're on their way.
Lionel Simmons, who did you enjoy playing with the most? One of your favorite teammates or your favorite teammate, and who was the guy you did not enjoy playing against? Who was the toughest for you to play against?
My worst player to play against was probably, I would say, Jerome Kersey. I think he passed. I'm not sure.
He passed away. Yeah.
So rest in peace. So he was one of those guys. You would try to give him a jump shot, he wouldn't take it. He'd just keep backing you down and backing you down and backing you down. He would never take it. He's just one of those physical players, and we played them a lot. So I would say Jerome Kersey was that player.
Mm-hmm.
My best teammate to play with was obviously, I would say, Mitch Richmond, because prior to Mitch getting there, we did things a different way. And when Mitch came there, he kind of brought a different energy, a winning spirit with us, and kind of started steering us in the right direction. Guys started staying later, doing things differently. So Mitch was probably, obviously, the best player I played with, and the player that taught us the most while playing there with him.
Lionel Simmons joining us, L-Train. L-Train, when I look at, your career and the way you started off, was there a transition period from college to the pros? It looked like you came in, ready to get buckets your rookie year.
Yeah, again, I think I played like 35, 36 minutes a game my rookie year. So again, when you're able to play through mistakes, you're able to not look over your shoulder and worry about coming out the game. I think you're able to play with some more confidence. And as long as you got that, I think most of the players in the league have that confidence, but a lot of players don't get the opportunity to play through their mistakes. So I was just fortunate enough at that time to have gone to a team that I got the opportunity to play. And I scored 3,000 points in college. So, I think I was able to score a little bit coming into my rookie year as well.
Lionel Simmons, before we let you go, I know that you have your own life now, obviously, but I'm wondering, how's it feel all these years later to have Kings fans and members of the media remember you in this way, where you were one of the top 20 players in Sacramento Kings history? I know your career was kind of cut short by injury and the teams weren't very good, but if I may ask, how does that feel to be remembered so fondly by Kings fans?
Well, I'm really overwhelmed by it. Sacramento is obviously a place that's very fond in my heart, and for the fans to still acknowledge me and to still remember my short tenure there. I feel very fortunate to have had that opportunity. And again, the fans were always great. They always came out and supported us through a lot of rough times. And I'm just very thankful that the fans are still supportive of me and still think about me some 25, 30 years later.
Well, we're very thankful to have you on. Thank you very much for your time. Hope to talk to you again soon, Lionel Simmons. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, L-Train.
L-Train.
Good stuff right there.
What are the odds of that? Back-to-back. Kings legends.
My boy
Fly,
Jay,
Eagles,
taking
fly.
care of me. He's taking care of me on the eve of our season opener. Looking out for your boy.
Jay had known that was the case. He at least would have separated them. Right, Jay? I mean, something.
We had an hour I kind of had to figure, I figured they were pretty close to Eagles fans, but I was hoping somebody like the Ravens or something in there. Up to the Patriots, maybe somebody turned on them and liked the Pats or something.
Nah, we roll deep, big fella. We roll deep.
I do think that was one of the surprises of the balloting, for what it's worth, is that L-Train was like number 20. That's
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And what's great about L-Train is, he mentioned, he was able to play through mistakes, played 37.7 minutes per game as a rookie. But he was the guy that they sort of, and I understand they drafted 4 rookies, but none as high as him.
Right.
He was going, thought to be the franchise player. And his career started off great. Like, he had a hell of a career before the injuries got the best of him.
Mm-hmm. And I think, playing for, again, rest in peace, Dick Motta, he was very old school. And the game hadn't started changing yet, to what it is now. But there were inklings that was going that way. And he was definitely more concerned with taking it the other way. So I think that hindered some of the young players offensively as well. But Hall of Fame coach, no question.
Yeah, Hall of Fame coach. And what's interesting, I was looking at L-Train's, just stats and everything. And, he was not a 3-point shooter, but he was so effective.
Look at later in his career, though. He made a few more.
Yeah, he took, late in his career, 0.9 threes per game. He never shot more than 0.9 per game. But can you imagine if that was a part of his game as well? I'm a huge fan of L-Train, a guy that could score, could rebound, could score, at elite level in the post as well. His footwork was amazing. And he's a legend in Philly, man. He's one of those guys we all grew up, just idolizing and like, man, he made it. L Train from Philly. He made it out of Philadelphia.
Right now at SactownSports.com. If you wish, you can cast your vote on ranking the top 40 Kings. I know yesterday we were not happy that Mitch Richmond was, what was he, 4th or 5th yesterday?
Yeah, in the fan vote. Yeah.
He's up to 3rd today.
All right, what you
and
got?
he's only 8 points behind Peja for 2nd.
So
if you get a
Peja's
chance-
second.
Yeah. C-Web, Peja, Mitch, Fox, Domas, Cuz, Vlade, Bibby, Christie, Brad Miller. Still
That's
the
not a bad list.
top
That's
10.
That's not a bad
Yeah,
list.
but Mitch has got to be at least 2nd.
He has
right?
to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, what was he, a 6-time All-Star, I think it was, in Sacramento, played 7 years, I think, at Sac. 6 of
he
them.
was an All-Star
Was an
MVP as a
All-Star.
King.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, what was that? Was that 96 or 95? 96, right? Yeah. I remember that. But, yeah, he has to be 2. Peja was great. It ain't no slight.
Right.
But Mitch was the guy, man.
Mhm.
He was the guy that stood toe-to-toe, eye-to-eye with Jordan, and got praise from, arguably the greatest player ever. Mitch has to be up there.
Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, we celebrate all that's good about having a team here, but you talk to some of these guys and they're very gracious about it, but you listen closely and they're being nice about it, but it was very difficult for some of the players during certain years of Kings basketball.
Yeah.
It was very difficult.
It's sad, too, because like we just talked with Jason Thompson about, like L Train, Reggie Theus, Mitch, like these are guys that should have been playing on the biggest and brightest of stages. But because of where the organization was at those given times, and we can look at the 2010s as well, Tyreek, Rudy Gay, like how many players' careers were impacted by the organization not being run in a proper manner.
Mm-hmm. And I'd forgotten Jason Thompson was there not only during all the coaching changes, but the regime change. And also when no one knew where the franchise was going to be.
To Anaheim, going, to Seattle. I mean, and the thing I appreciate about Jason Thompson, when you look at his basketball reference page, the guy played a lot. Like, it wasn't like he was load managed. Like, he had a couple of 82-game seasons and where he played every game. This guy, suited up and brought it every single night, despite all the stuff going outside with the franchise.
Yeah, for the, and what was he, what did I say, 12th pick, I think? Jason Thompson.
12th pick.
For a 12th pick, he was a rock-solid pick.
He really was.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a solid player, and to his point, and he brought up DeMarcus Cousins, and this is one of the things we've talked about with Cuz. The infrastructure wasn't there for Cuz and the rest of these young players to be successful.
Yeah. Didn't he say something like, I've got a lot of stories about
right.
it? I have a lot of those stories.
You ain't pushing him on that one. I thought you might go there with him. I'm sure he does. Man, but no, great job, Jay. 2 legends, 2 guys in our top 40. And, I know people are like, this is, come up with some, something more spicy. We in September, early September, we got Kings legends. A lot of people grew up watching these guys, and it's almost like, what are they up to right now? We haven't heard from them. What are they doing? And to have the opportunity to have them on here on Sactown Sports 1140, to me, it's great. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And all the players we talk to are genuinely optimistic about where this thing is headed.
Right.
Genuinely.
You talk about Monty McNair and the job he's done. Mike Brown, universally respected around the league. We legitimately have a big 3 right now. We got 3 guys that could potentially be all-stars for the Sacramento Kings this season. It's been a while since we could say something like that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I've gotten from a lot of these interviews that you guys have been knocking out, and we'll continue them. We have some, I know we have to, focus on football with a short show tomorrow, picks and stuff like that. So I kind of staged away from that. Maybe we'll get somebody on tomorrow, but I say all that to say this, fellas, the one and 2 things that I take away from these interviews are this. They still keep up with what's popping in Sacramento. They still pay attention. They're all over what's going on. You heard what Jason Thompson is like, look, I see you guys, your show from afar. L Train's like, I still keep up with Sacramento. You are my guys. Post the 76ers, which he grew up, something like you would say, Drapes. Beyond that, I'm rooting for the Sacramento Kings. And then the second part that always touches me when everybody that you pretty much hear besides Spencer Halls or somebody like that, you know, and I even go back to, we had Jason Terry on in this time slot.
Really?
And people of Sacramento couldn't stand Jason Terry.
Right.
Really?
And the very first thing, and I have to try to go back, he got on and he cut the interview. He was like, listen, before we move on, let me just apologize to the city of Sacramento.
Wow, yeah.
Let me tell you guys, I had no clue what I thought I was coming to. You know, like he was very forgiving about what was going on in Sacramento. And so I say that to say the second thing I always notice with most of these guys, man, they loved it here.
Mm-hmm.
They respect, you know, playing in Sacramento. And as much as, you know, as you said, Whitey, they didn't have the opportunity to have a lot of winning seasons. They always be like, man, I'm very fond of what's going on, you know, fond of my time in Sacramento. So I say that to say this, with the Kings being great, some way, somehow, hopefully Uncle V is listening as I take the words from Drake.
Right.
Yeah.
And they do a pretty good job of bringing people back here in Sacramento. Let's do that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like as Jason Thompson said, I had the opportunity to sit next to JT that game. I'm like, man, that's a good thing. And he got a standing ovation when they introduced JT Drapes. You were calling the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so what L Train should be in Sacramento once a year.
Right.
Jay Will should be here a little more. You know, guys like that, we should be able to recognize those. So hopefully Uncle V and the squad over at Golden One Arena, they're paying attention to that.
Embrace that history the way fans embrace it.
Bring them back. Like, what's wrong with, you know, we knocking on wood here. Hopefully the Kings win a championship within the next 4 or 5 years. Give some of these guys rings. Let them come back and have some fanfare. Right. I don't care if you got to give them a necklace like you got when you graduated high school with Johnston or whatever it was called.
Remember that? The ring? Yeah.
Give them some 1 hour photos or something. You know, some Bill Smith photography in Sacramento.
Yeah. Thanks again to Lionel Simmons and Jason Thompson. Back to football when we come back is another Super Bowl hangover about to hit the 49ers. That's not going to happen, right? Is it next? Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make this switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's unforgiving. It starts with a nod the head, a lifetime in 8 seconds, known as rodeo.
The 90th annual Marysville Stampede is coming to the Cotton Rosso Arena September 14th and 15th. If you want to see rodeo's best, you better be there. It's a whole weekend of the best pro rodeo action for the whole family. Bareback, saddle bronc, bull riding, plus the Flying Cowboys BMX Motorcycle Show. It's just $25 for adults and $15 for kids 4 to 12. Don't you miss 1 second of the heart-pounding, ground-shaking, bucking, twisting rodeo action. Get your tickets at MarysvilleStampede.com. The 90th Annual Marysville Stampede, Saturday, September 14th at 5 p.m. and Sunday, September 15th at 3:30 p.m. at the Cotton Rosser Arena in Marysville. Tickets are available now at MarysvilleStampede.com.
I just don't like going to church, man. I don't like the people there. People at church have like coworker vibes.
Ralph Barbosa, the super cool ass tour.
Like some of them are cool, but most of them, they're just being fake nice because they want that promotion. Like if those are the people that are gonna be hanging out in heaven, I just go to hell.
Saturday, September 7th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the hilarious Ralph Barbosa live.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain.
Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
Good Feet Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain.
Investing in youth arch supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee, Tyler Rich, Dasha, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Some people just know safe drivers save more with Allstate. Just like they know that's the mating call of a blue-footed booby and not a green-footed booby. Yeah, some people know that. And they know if you're a safe driver, you can save up to 40% with Allstate. Ain't that something?
Based on the national average premium savings for Allstate customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. That's why our Lowe's Red Vest associates can help with game time decisions. Plus, use in-store mode on the Lowe's app to find what you need. Under pressure at home and want it soon? Order online by 2 p.m. to get it same day. Same day valid on eligible in-stock items and select zip codes only, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase, exclusions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Drapes, you have a grudge match coming up this week in the Station Fantasy Football League?
Do I?
I don't know. You tell me. We got a message here from a Brendan Nunez asking, is Drapes ready to start his fantasy season 0-1?
You know, that's a loser's mentality. Like, when you're a champion like me, when you're a winner, you don't concern yourself with the opponent.
I see.
You just concern yourself with your team.
Mm-hmm.
So Brendan's
you went after him hard yesterday, and now he's
dude, why has he got Twitter fingers and keyboard? Like, call us up, big fella. 916-339-1140. I know you got that on your phone. You got it saved in. You can call anytime.
He doesn't want to interrupt the Philadelphia Eagle talk.
I tell you what, if I beat him this week, and I guess I'm playing him. I am playing Brendan's best team. I'm favored to win right now, and I haven't even set my full lineup yet.
What's your team name?
Kyle's Deluxe Team. I didn't name it. It just automatic. This is my third league. You got to understand, Whitey. I'm in 3 leagues this year. You know, so I haven't put much thought into it. You know, I'm looking at the matchup. I'm looking at
becoming.
No, I guarantee I'll win this matchup.
Oh,
I'll go all in.
This
is my Super Bowl now because he's talking that smack. This is my Super Bowl.
Somebody, I think it was Manny, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Manny Too Legit was wondering about my jersey. It's opening day of the NFL season. I don't have a lot of jerseys, so this is throwback Johnny Unitas. 1967 replica throwback Johnny U.
And you call yourself
great
a Niners fan.
I'm a football fan. I'm a fan of football history and of the great game of football in the United States of America.
There's only one of us with a Brock Purdy jersey on this show right now, and that's me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm just saying, I'm the only one that's supporting the team with my dollars and cents. You know,
I get that, but it's freaking Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas, yeah. Man, he didn't know that?
He wasn't sure. He said, I don't know that much about football. So
all right. Okay.
Yeah. I wore this when they had for Radio Row, when they had the Super Bowl Santa Clara, when Denver played the Panthers.
Yeah.
And most people didn't pay any attention, but Herm Edwards was just staring at me. He was staring at me. He goes, you better wear high top shoes with that.
So, yeah. Like back in the day, right? Johnny U.
Yeah. So do we have to worry, us 49er fans, those of us who want to see the 49ers actually win a Super Bowl? Do we have to worry about a Super Bowl, a hangover? What is a Super Bowl hangover? Why do people even talk about it? It's not even a thing, is it?
No, it's totally a thing.
What causes it?
It's hard to get to the mountaintop twice. It's hard to make it to that far twice. And you know how it is in the NFL, Whitey. It's hard to make it there once.
Yeah.
You know, look at the Niners' history. It's hard to get there. And then you have to, have the same motivation. And so a lot of people think losing in the Super Bowl will motivate the Niners to get back there, a la like losing in the NFC Championship game did. But it's hard to get up week in and week out. And there's a reason why, like I said, the last 9 seasons, there hasn't been a repeat NFC champion in the Super Bowl. It's tough.
I mentioned that in The Athletic, they had 5 NFL executives, and they voted on all the teams, and the consensus was 49ers are number 1. But the one guy in this panel who voted them 3rd, everyone else said number 1.
Yeah.
The guy who voted them 3rd, he ranked the 49ers lower. He cited a cumulative effect of San Francisco coming close to winning Super Bowls without breaking through. And he saw some erosion of talent, wondered whether key players on offense would stay healthy again. There's been a lot of turmoil. I don't think they're as deep as they have been in the past. 2 of your most important players have not practiced at some point, and this may not be the year because they are not yet paying the quarterback. It's going to get more challenging. I mean, if that's the worst thing you can say about the 49ers, is that at some point, maybe not now, it's going to get more challenging, and they're going to be the 3rd best team in the conference. Other than injury, they got nothing to worry about.
Dude, he sound like Manti Te'o over there. This guy.
He does.
A little bit.
I watched them on TV, and they looked exhausted.
Emotionally spent already.
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Now, let's keep it real, though. Let's keep it real. The Niners are the favorites to come out of the NFC. But I need to go back and look historically. How many favorites actually achieved that goal? Last year, was it the Niners or the Eagles to start? I can't quite remember.
I'm guessing it was the 49ers, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But it's hard,
it doesn't
man.
matter, to your point.
And when you look at the Niners, sure, they made it to the Super Bowl. But Packers almost had them. Lions almost had them. And so I don't think the gap is that far between the Niners, the Packers, the Lions, and I'm going to throw my Eagles in there. So on any given Sunday, those teams can be beaten.
I think the single biggest reason they struggled so much with Green Bay and with Detroit, those they're excellent teams.
Yep.
But I think it's because defensively they just were getting shoved around.
Yeah.
And that's
the ground game, right?
Yeah.
Especially.
Detroit boat raced them early.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think they're going to have to, with Floyd now, they're going to have to get more of the pass rush. They're designed that way, and they didn't get it last year. So I can see why they'd be optimistic. But let's face it, last time they went to the Super Bowl, they lose that game to the Chiefs that looked like they were going to win. The next year, the 49ers were a disaster,
right?
But it was the COVID year coming out of that. Jimmy G got hurt.
Come on.
No, it was. There were a lot of things at work there, but it was a disastrous year, 6-10. The injuries.
And let's not forget, the next year, they started off slowly, too. Remember? And then
they still made it to the
they
NFC
got hot, though.
Yeah.
They got hot at the end.
Yeah.
At the very end. And I just think, if everything was, they would hand out the Super Bowl now. If what happens in September and where teams stand in September, I'm of the belief now, you just got to let it play out. Are the Niners, as of right now, the best team in the NFC? Yes, but what does that get you? Not a thing. I learned that last year, man. Niners fans, you can plan a parade all you want now, but take it from a guy who had to eat humble pie last year. You got to stay humble here. You
Sure.
Just.
But aren't you saying you agree that right now they should be the best team? That's all you can say right now.
Yeah, that's all you can say. Yet. Right. But that doesn't mean anything, though.
Yeah.
And it's an opinion piece.
I don't see the foundation for they're going to look out. It's going to catch up with them. Even this executive says, maybe not now, but at some point it's going to catch up with them. Well, you could say that about any team in the history of sports.
And that's true. It's happened to most teams in the NFC.
But there's no reason that I can see to say it's happening now. I know it looked that way with, they have the holdouts, but they got everybody.
So is the loss of Dre Greenlaw, is that not going to affect the team?
It probably will, but it's a short-term loss.
How long is he going to be out? Do we know?
Do we know,
Jay?
Jay, I don't know if we actually know that, but he's expected to be back, or at least that's what he's planning.
Yeah, but what's expected to be back? Is that week 10? Is that week 4? Like, what's his injury situation? Because Dre Greenlaw was
probably not even. Pardon me, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. But it's probably not. No one even knows yet. It's probably reasonable that he'll be back, but you have to wait and see. But with an improved pass rush, look at Trey on the text line. The defense is a lot deeper this season, especially the defensive line.
See, but that's Whitey. No, this is why I don't.
Trey, that wasn't me.
Yeah, but this is why Trey can't say that. The defensive line last year, you go out and bring in Gregory. You go out there and bring in Chase Young.
Yeah,
Hargrave. Like Hargrave. You got all these names, and they didn't live up to the billing. We don't know if these guys are going to live up to the billing yet.
Bosa's back, baby.
Here's the problem with it. The Niners fans are always giving their team the benefit of the doubt, but you don't give nobody else the benefit of the doubt.
It's not like they've sucked. They've been really good. They haven't won a Super Bowl, I know, but they've been outstanding.
Campio, the 49ers are the best in the NFC West, but the Niners will not win the Super Bowl this season.
Why not, Campio?
That's his opinion, too.
I know, but I'm wondering what that's based on. Maybe he's right. Why not? Is it that whole thing of it's just they've come too close too many times? A lot of people say that. I'm just not sure I buy that.
Well, I mean, you got to let it play out, right? The best team doesn't always win. Like the Chiefs on paper were not the best team last year, but they won the Super Bowl. You got to wait and see. You got to let it play out. Upsets happen all the time in sports.
Steven Torres says Greenlaw's on the PUP list out at least 4 weeks. I expect him back, says Steven Torres, week 5, because he was close to be available week 1. So anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be week 5.
Yeah, that's an Achilles. Come on.
That's not what I've heard from anybody.
And Campio says the reason the 49ers won't win at all, because Shanahan is still the head coach.
Damn, Campio is not a believer in Shanahan, huh?
Yeah. You know what? We'll have to get to TC. We'll take a quick time out. Speaking of going after Shanny, We'll get to the phones, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, and TC is ready to sink his fangs into Shanny next on Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Experience a golf tournament as refined as you are. The Pro Court Championship at Silverado Resort, September 12th through the 15th. Be there as the best of Napa meets the best of the PGA Tour. With world-class wine experiences, breathtaking views, and incredible golf. It's like this weekend was made for you. The Pro Court Championship, September 12th through the 15th. For tickets, go to ProCourtChampionship.com.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
I just don't like going to church, man. I don't like the people there. People at church have like coworker vibes.
Ralph Barbosa, the super cool ass tour.
Like some of them are cool, but most of them, they're just being fake nice because they want that promotion. Like if those are the people that are going to be hanging out in heaven, I just go to hell.
Saturday, September 7th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the hilarious Ralph Barbosa live.
The Drive Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Hey, Drapes, you're a LeBron guy, right? You love LeBron.
Yeah, he's my guy.
LeBron has revealed his Super Bowl matchup.
Okay, what do you got?
Ravens-Niners.
Yeah, the Niners are the top team.
Yeah. That's not me.
LeBron can be wrong, too. LeBron can be wrong, too. Here's the thing about it, Whitey.
Ravens-Niners.
We're all just talking. We're all just talking.
Trey.
I'm looking at Trey go in on me on the text line. Basically, Gregory isn't the same player. What recently happened to him? He got cut. This D-line is lengthier, bigger, and arguably more physical.
True.
Hargrave had a horrible season last year. This will be a bounce-back year for him, too, especially since the team can choose to not pick up his option after the season. Both Hargrave and Chase Young lacked the motors last season that would have helped take that defense to another level. Watch the tape. this defense added size and high energy depth to the line this offseason.
That's good stuff.
No, it sounds like he's hoping. He's hoping Hargrave will bounce back, because of a contract year. He's hoping that, Floyd will be, what he was before. Like, he's hoping. This is a Niners fan with a rosy, optimistic view. And so what he says doesn't matter. What LeBron says doesn't matter. You know what matters, Whitey? The play on the field.
Yeah, well,
it'll all be decided. It'll all be decided,
Monday night.
It'll all be decided.
Starts Monday night. Robert Saleh, the coach of the Jets, used to be the 49ers defensive coordinator. All right, here's Robert Saleh speaking to the media about what he sees in the 49er defense, and maybe he sees some of the things he contributed to it.
From a style of play standpoint, they still get after it. You still see Bosa. I know Hargrave, he wasn't there, but he's adopted it. Obviously, Fred, their back end. There's a lot of new faces, but the style of play, the tenacity, the overall core philosophy of the defense obviously is still there, and they've done a great job. Kyle's done a great job, and D'Amico, and going all the way through. So, obviously there's a on fire, and they play with a style.
Do you take pride in that, Robert? That was your defense, and now it's been carried through this third generation.
I don't know about pride. I do think it is cold. Just a lot of those guys who were just pups when we got there. Bosa was a rookie. Fred was a nickel that we turned into a Mike linebacker, and knock on wood for him, he's been able to stay healthy and he's had great production. Greenlaw, I know he's not playing, I don't think, but he's another guy that grew so much. But they've got so much talent. They've got a very good understanding of the defense, and it's cool because we did it together. And it's like I said, I'm standing here because of those guys, and so very grateful for them.
I got to say, that's a great answer.
That's a great answer.
Take pride, because on some level, sure, he's proud of it, but it looks bad if he says it because it's almost like he's taking credit for it.
Right.
So it's like, wow. It's just neat to see what those guys have done.
Yeah, those are his guys still.
Yeah. First couple years, he was a coordinator, and the 49ers weren't very good, and people couldn't wait to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Then the defense was so good, and then he becomes a head coach.
Right,
somewhere.
It clicked. Yes, exactly. And this is a classic matchup we'll see on Monday. Saleh coming back home against a coach he knows very well. Very well. And so it's exciting. Real quick, I just saw a flash up on ESPN's Bottom Line. Remember the Washington Commanders guy? He got fired, right? Right? That's what we thought yesterday, right?
Everybody wave goodbye to Shasky.
And we this guy got to go. He got to go. So he was fired.
So he was suspended so they could look into things, and they said, "This video, is this you? We're looking into it." Yeah, that's me.
Bye.
Yeah.
Right. There's video proof out there. Wow.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. I have a feeling this year it's going to be like a miracle. TC, by the end of the year, he's going to be a Shanahan fan.
You think so?
That's my prediction.
Oh, man.
Here he is.
About to freeze.
Time for Check It with TC. How you doing, TC? You're going to be a Shanahan fan by the time this is done.
Hey, first and foremost, Mike, and check it. Hey, why you stop that? Bro, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. Jay, what's up? Listen, Whitey, like I told y'all, listen, bro, I'm a diehard Niner fan, bro. I was a Shanny guy at one point. I tell y'all that all the time. So when I get on these airwaves and rant about Shanny, I'm brutally honest. Yeah. I'm not just a fan yesterday and I'm mad. I really used to like Shanny until he showed his true colors, bro. And I'm cool on that guy. And us going to the Super Bowl, not winning, everything. Like, we can go on and on. Like, if I actually got down and sit down with you guys on a one-on-one over coffee, a cocktail, or whatever it is, I'll let you guys I'll break everything down to you guys about that guy. I'm cool on that dude. We will not win a ring with that guy. If we win one, I tip my hat, bro. We're not winning nothing with this guy, bro. Period, point blank. And my feelings towards Shanny is real. So, Whitey, me liking him at the end of the season, that's out. He better hope that he can hold on to his job for the rest of the season. If it was up to me, bro, I'm over Shanny, dog. Period, point blank. I got a question though on that top 40. Where is Fox located on that? Is he located on there anywhere?
Yeah. According to the panel, he was, where did he end it? Fourth 5th?
Fourth, right?
Yeah. And then on the voting of the fans right now, he's about in the same
Third, right?
spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So I was like, how De'Aaron is in top? I love C-Webb.
He's 5th.
I love Webb, bro. But I'm like, bro, how is Webb 1? I love Webb, and I didn't hear where Fox was. Now Fox is in the top 3. I'm fine with that. I was just gonna swap them two. I love Webb, but I was like, bro,
Come on,
De'Aaron
TC.
got to be top 3. I mean,
TC. C-Webb took him to the conference finals, big fella.
that was a team, Drake. That was a team. Webb was good. It was a team. We had Page. We had a team behind Webb. Everybody thinks Webb threw the team on his back and did that. No, bro. We had a legitimate team. I'm not taking nothing away from Webb, right? Webb was a dominant player. He's one of my top kings of all time. I got it confused, y'all. I didn't know where was Fox located. Now I know where Fox is located. I feel a little better, bro. But if it was me, I might put Fox in that number 1 spot, bro. Webb I have to bump down the 3. That's just me.
All right.
That's me.
Thank you, TC.
TC, check it, baby.
Yeah, TC, you can go to SactownSports.com and you can do that if you care to. You can rate
vote,
the top
right?
40 any way you want to put Darren Fox number 1.
Man, TC.
Come on,
had-
TC,
No
number
way.
1.
No, dude had 1 playoff berth. Like,
yeah,
7 playoff games to his career. Like,
I mean, maybe
he may get there.
You could see that, yeah, if he continues on this path,
Right,
maybe.
right.
But what?
Nah, you can't. Fox isn't one. Yeah. I mean, you got Mitch Richmond, who's been to the playoffs himself.
Yeah.
In Sacramento. And so
you watch, by the end of the year, though, TC, I'm going to have you singing the praises of Shanahan.
That's
singing the praises of Shanahan.
Oh, man. He said he might be out of a job mid-season if it was up to him. That's crazy. TC, that crazy
time reading Grant Cohn.
Right. I was about to say, he's our version of Grant Cohn here in Sac. My gosh.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. How about Todd on Sactown Sports? Hello, Todd. You're on the drive, guys. What's up?
Fellas, hey, thank you. I just, like you guys are saying, hey, sports talk, it's a lot about opinions, right?
Yes. Yep.
Well, in my opinion, you guys have been awesome with this list and walk down memory lane. I thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you, Todd.
All right, Todd. Appreciate that.
Drake, thanks for jumping on board. You're kind of the newbie, but, man, you have good knowledge. You're killing it. Jay, man, I mean, he must have great relationships because he's got a lot of good interviews. You know, Whitey, I just thank you for being, so old and being in Sacramento for so long.
What? What'd you say?
Jay, clip that. Clip that.
I didn't make
Shouts
that
out to Todd for that drop.
Yeah.
So fun. And not a program director or anything, but I think it'd be really cool if one day you had a couple of interviews and had Jerry sit in on them and listen to Jerry ask these guys some questions too.
All right, Todd. Thanks. Now
you and your feelings now, huh?
No, I'm not in my feelings. It's just like now he's, from you guys are great to, hey, here's what I would do. It's like, okay,
he's trying to run. All right, I thought you were upset over him calling you old.
I didn't. Is that what he said? I have a hard
Jay,
time hearing.
I'm sure we got that. We'll replay it later for you.
Man.
I have a hard time hearing. Thank you, Todd. That's very nice. Because that's been the idea with all this King stuff.
Right.
And it's
trip down memory lane. Yep.
Yeah. How about Rob on Sactown Sports? Rob, what's up, Rob?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Man, Todd, I got to agree with a part of that. I mean, shoot, I don't know. I'm not going to call you old on air, Whitey, Jesus. But
we are what we are.
Well, we are what we are. I ain't a young guy either. So, but the memory lane trip has been great. I know you guys were talking about Mitch earlier, and Dre, thank you. God, I was like, someone's got to defend him. Like the man himself, the airness, Michael Jordan. They scored like 30. I was at a game. Mitch put up 30 against Jordan. Jordan put up like 39 and won the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember there's been multiple occasions that Jordan praised how good Mitch was just from a competitor, as a player, an all-around guy. And then you put him on this list, and you're like, man, look at that guy's. Opinions are opinions, but I like stats too. And stats tell me that Mitch was one heck of a great three-point shooter, as well as amazing getting to the rim. You could put Mitch on any of the teams. You put Mitch on a team. I mean, I hate to say it, but you maybe take like Bibby or Peja. Think about it. Think about this. This is a dangerous thought. and replace Mitch with one of those guys, I don't know how we don't win a championship. Mitch next to Weber, that would be just ultimate. Those are my 1-2 right there, Mitch and Weber. I go back and forth all the time because it's like, who had the better situation? Who did the best with what? You know, Mitch had Spud and a young team with a lot of vets that was not enough against the Sonics team. And then you could always say we got taken by the refs, but with the Lakers series, you know, and Weber, but it's a crazy thought. So it's fun to time you guys.
Yeah, thank you. And two things you must do. If you didn't hear Mitch yesterday, you have to go to the website, check that out. It was a great interview with Mitch Richmond. And then 2, you need to go to sactownsports.com and cast your vote. Right. Because Mitch, right now, I think he's running third, a close third in the fan vote. Yeah. And he could use your help getting him up to nothing against, Peugeot, I think, is second. But Mitch has to at least be second. Gotta be. And by the way, it was really interesting talking to the L Train about that series 96 against the Sonics. And I said, I tried to get him to, hey, if Mitch doesn't get hurt, you guys win. He goes, Seattle was pretty good.
Yeah, Seattle was good. Yeah. Peyton Kemp and those boys. Yeah, that was you tried to give it to him, right?
Yeah. We would have had a better chance with Mitch. All right, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You want to join the conversation here when we come back. The Cowboys are no longer America's team. That's for sure. The question is, who is? We had an unlikely nomination today on the show. We'll look at that when we come back to Sactown Sports.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Part 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha.
And
And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Most amateurs like to play for something on the course, and you'll be pleased to know the USGA doesn't object to informal wagering when it's a friendly bet with your friends. Some of the most popular wagers are the Nassau, which is 3 bets. Low score on the front, low score on the back, and a low score for the full 18. In a round robin, 2 members of the foursome team up against the other 2, but the catch is the partners rotate every 6 holes. In skins, the player that wins the hole earns the skin. If there's a tie, the skin is carried over and the next hole is worth 2 skins. And of course, don't forget wagers for greenies, landing your shot on a par 3 green, sandies, earning a save from the sand, woodies, parring after hitting a tree, and of course, Arnies, parring without hitting the fairway in honor of Arnold Palmer. So play away. Your amateur status is safe. For Golf to Go, I'm Frank LaRosa.
Stop what you're doing, because right now, Kohl's is giving away millions in instant Kohl's Cash in stores for free. You heard that right. This weekend is their Kohl's Cash Ultimate Giveaway. Plus, get 3 days of deals in-store and online. Yep, you definitely don't want to miss this. So hurry to Kohl's today, before it's too late. Kohl's Cash Giveaway valid in-store only. Redeemable only that day. Some exclusions apply while supplies last. Ends September 8th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
I had been starting to be sick all the time at work, so I went to the doctor. He asked if people in the office smoked. He identified it as being exposed to secondhand smoke. I decided to sue. It was worth it in the end, California being the first state to be smoke-free in workplaces and restaurants in the country.
Andrea was part of a historic movement to ban smoking in the workplace. Learn how she and other Californians are fighting big tobacco at undo.org.
Hoy! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports.
I think we became, they always talk about the Cowboys as America's team. I think when, obviously the Chiefs, rightfully so, but if it's not after the Chiefs, it's us who everyone wants to talk about.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
That was Jason Thompson, and that had been a great interview until he started spouting nonsense about the Eagles.
Man, he's
America's
phenomenal.
team?
He is phenomenal. I love it.
America's team. On what basis would you say the Eagles are America's team?
Well, we became America's team back in, Super Bowl 52 when we dethroned the Patriots with the Philly special. And so we're a blue-collar town, hard-working town. We're not a wine and cheese crowd like Niner fans or anything like that. We're a blue-collar, gritty, hard.
So you're saying the Eagles have been America's team since then?
Yeah, people were rooting for the Eagles since then. No doubt about it. People wanted the Eagles to beat the Patriots.
Well, sure.
Now the Chiefs are America's team, and Jason Thompson said, outside of the Chiefs, the next team that everybody is keeping an eye on is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, there's only one America's team.
But
you can't have it. Well, they are, but we're the next up. It's like
the Chiefs are the flavor of the month. As soon as Mahomes retires, they're like the Warriors. As soon as Steph retires, they'll go back into oblivion.
Maybe. So we actually agree on that. Because to me, the Cowboys will still tell you, America's team, we're America's team. I've always been America's team. And they're just not, because they just haven't been successful in the postseason. They can call themselves that, but they're not. But clearly, it's the Chiefs right now. I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Right. It's the Chiefs.
And apologies to Jerry Reynolds, the great Jerry Reynolds, who is a Chiefs fan. But I'm not a Chiefs fan, but they're America's team.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey.
What's her name
on
the golf
Taylor
cart?
Swift.
Yeah, that's her.
I will say this, though, about the Cowboys, though, and being in all honesty here. I still think they can stake a claim to America's team, meaning you have a number of people who love them, but you also have an equal amount that hate them and despise them.
I will say this to your point. I know Orlovsky was on some other podcast last season, and he said, when we're on ESPN, that's all we're allowed to talk about is Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys.
Right.
So they must have numbers that show people care about the Cowboys one way or the other.
Right. And here's the thing.
I don't know why.
For some reason, the Cowboys move the needle, sort of like the Lakers in basketball. If the Lakers were 20-62, that'd still be a topic. Look at the Patriots. Winning all those Super Bowls with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. 2 decades of dominance. They were relevant. Now, nobody's talking about them. The same can't be said for the Cowboys or the Lakers or teams like that. Chiefs. Soon as Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid are done, they'll go back to, irrelevance. I argue same thing with the Warriors. Soon as Steph is done, all those national TV games, they're going to be out of there.
You don't think the brand is strong enough?
I don't think
the Cowboy
so. brand.
You're right. The Cowboy brand endures like the New England's brand just didn't.
Right.
It was more the Brady brand.
Yeah,
it
was the Brady brand, right? Brady was kind of bigger than the franchise, and, the Lakers have their own brand, but then LeBron takes his brand wherever he goes, Miami, Cleveland. And, when it comes to football.
So it's the Steph brand, not the Warrior brand.
It's the Steph brand, not the Warrior brand, and I see Warriors hats out there. There's some diehards, no doubt about that. But I've also talked to Warriors fans who have now started to migrate back to Sacramento and become Kings fans. And so when you talk about football,
do we want those fans, by the way, those bandwagon jumpers?
They got about one more season to join. Don't join when we in the Western Conference Finals or competing for a championship. I'll give you another 6 months or so where you can hop on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the playoffs.
I say whenever. If it does come to that, fine, welcome aboard. But you just always have to have a special place for those who are fans, no matter how the team.
Right. You got to have day ones, like a special place for the day ones. The Kings fans who endured 16 years of not making the playoffs. And players, exactly. Like Jay said, those guys that especially weren't part of a playoff team or a culture that was strong, they deserve to be welcomed back anytime they won. Like we should have it's almost like 40 acres and a mule. You know what I mean? The what you had to endure during your era as a Sacramento King, we owe you one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The door is always open. The light is always on for Jason Thompson, L Train, and those guys.
I don't think enough's being made of the fact that the Chiefs are trying to be the first team ever to win 3 Super Bowls. And maybe that's because the season's so long and there's so much that can happen. And I'm sure if it gets to that point, it'll be a huge story if they get to the conference championship game or to the Super Bowl. But that's remarkable, and no one has done it. The team that nearly did it, Drapes, and this is a fact, the 49ers, 88, 89, 90. They were this close to doing it. Because they were they won 10 games at 88. They win that Super Bowl against Cincinnati. Then the next year, they destroyed Denver. Then the next year after that was the Whitney Houston Super Bowl year where they were playing the Giants in the conference championship game at Candlestick, and they lost 15-13.
Roger Craig.
Roger Craig fumbled after. Remember, Joe Montana broke his hand. Leonard Marshall took him out. And even then, it was going to be, all right, well, Steve Young will be in the Super Bowl. They should be okay. Then Roger Craig fumbles. Barr kicks the field goal. And I was on the field when that happened because, the media there, you're in the press box at Candlestick, and you come down to the field so you can go across the field into the locker room. So we were on the field when his kick went up and through, and it's incredible how quiet 65,000.
Really?
It was just like
gut punch, huh?
Yeah, because oh my goodness, they're going to
lose this game.
Now, who knows? Maybe Buffalo beats them. I don't think so. They were really close to winning 3 straight.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
It's hard. And, even as great as the Patriots were, that dynasty, that's something they never did. And this would probably be maybe the greatest feat in NFL team-wise.
Sure, that's what I'm saying.
This might surpass the Dolphins of 72.
In a way, it would,
because this kind of sustained excellence in the NFL is supposed impossible to do.
Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, it's supposed to be impossible with the cap and everything now that you got to deal with. So if they can do it, a long ways to go. I will say, as far as tonight goes, in my opinion, tonight is much bigger for Baltimore than it is for the Chiefs. Because remember last year, and I remember we did the show the day after that opening game last year. Last year, opening night, remember the Lions won at Kansas City.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. The Chiefs got problems, no wide receivers was the narrative, and it didn't matter. And I think the Chiefs have earned the right to not judge them by what happens in week 1 or week 4 or week 8. Like, as long as they're standing there when the playoffs begin, you have to give them a puncher's chance. Now, to your point, the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, they got something to prove. Like, Lamar is 1-4, I think, against Patrick Mahomes in his career. He got to beat him one of these days. He got to get a W. And so they got to come out strong tonight.
I like Derrick Henry on that team.
That's a big time.
Yeah.
How old is Derrick Henry? It seems like he's been around forever, man. This dude's still running hard. Yeah, that's a huge pickup for them.
He had a down year last year, but he ended strong. And you can see if it's just those two guys, and it's a football cliche, but how can you beat Mahomes? You keep him on the sideline while Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are running the ball down their throats.
Yeah, you gash them. And the Ravens' run game was solid last year, though. But now you got a guy that can literally carry a team, a franchise for a game. And you're right. The potency between him and Lamar Jackson, like what they can do running the ball, nightmare for defenses.
What is the number one reason why the NFL is so dominant? Do you know? You think about that? We'll come back with that. Why is football? You look at the TV ratings and everyone's going crazy now. Football's on tonight. What is the number one reason the NFL is so dominant? That's next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been?" I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
You guys got a new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, bam, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, "Honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you will take care of this now." So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, "Can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage?" And they're all, "Sure, Mr. Jones. We do this every day." And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Another very warm evening. Temperatures slow to drop, but they'll start in the low to mid 60s on Friday morning. Another hot afternoon, high around 104. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Here's your answer, Drapes. Derrick Henry is 30 years old.
30.
Seems much older.
Yeah,
huh?
seems older. Old for a running back, but still seems much older.
He'll be 31 on the 4th of January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later
Zeroing
in the
in
season.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of these nicknames? Pro Football Reference says Derrick Henry, nicknames. The King. Okay, King Henry. Tractorcito. Have you ever heard anyone refer to? I haven't.
I haven't, no. This is news to me.
I don't know.
All right, who came up with
Have you seen
this?
the basketball one? Did you ever just look at basketball
Oh, yeah,
Reference?
sometimes I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's give me a random player and I'll look up NBA. Random. Just name somebody. Wait.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Oh, KCP. All right, I'm looking up his basket. Well, we know KCP.
Right.
KC and Ken. K-E-N.
Okay.
Nobody calls him Ken, no, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
that was
it's
a bad. I
mom
gave you a
or
bad
something.
example.
Yeah, you gave me a real bad one.
Yeah.
You know, how about Paolo Banchero? How about that?
Mm-hmm.
It just made me think of that. Paolo Banchero. Because I'm sure it's going to be some nicknames, and I'm like, I've never heard anybody call him this.
There was a story recently about the woman who does that, who is the editor for Basketball Reference, and where she comes up with these.
He doesn't have one listed.
Oh, okay.
That's unheard of, right? How about DeMar DeRozan? That's a good one, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is fun to do, actually. DeMar DeRozan, our boy.
We got to hit on some eventually.
Yeah. Debo, Mr. I Am Toronto. I never heard that. I never heard that.
That's not a
I
thing.
never heard that. It's on Basketball Reference.
I dare you to drop that on a broadcast.
I probably will. No,
That's
I
a
can't.
three from Mr. I Am Toronto.
I can't do that now, though, because he's, maybe like when
Mr.
we're
I Am
in Toronto.
Sacramento.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Maybe when we're in Toronto, I can work it in somehow, but no, that's funny. I never heard of that. That's crazy. How about this one? I want to see if anybody writes any funny ones. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons. You can have a Simo the Savage, Young Socialite, Fresh Prince, Peacemaker, Benny, the Yank, Big Ben, the Wizard of Oz.
You had me at Simo the Savage?
Simo the Savage.
What?
I don't know who came up with this, dude. So is there an actual person that...
Yeah, I'll do some more research on it. There is someone who is in charge of those, and she doesn't supposedly make them up, but she has some criteria.
Yeah.
Where if she spots it in a certain number of places, boom, it goes onto the page.
I'm a Google Simo the Savage.
The standards must be
Yeah.
pretty low.
Simo.
Did you see that Zach Lowe on the Zach Lowe Post podcast?
What?
He is comparing my guy, Keon Ellis, saying he could be the next KCP.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, I did not see that. That would be massive for the Kings. That would be huge. I mean, everybody needs a KCP on their team.
Right.
And at that 2-guard spot,
yeah,
that's what we need. He would be perfect.
Yeah.
If he can, and he's shown he can knock down the jumper, the 3.
Offense
now,
coming around.
Can he do it? You said that in November, though. Yeah, one game against Houston. But no, can he do that over a stretch of 82? That's going to be the key.
That's the question.
That's the question.
There's every reason to think he can, the way he has dealt with adversity and differing circumstances.
Right.
We'll see.
Right.
Yeah. Now, the best thing about football starting is it means we're that much closer to the start of basketball.
Yes.
That said, why do you think? What's the number one reason, in your opinion, why football in the NFL is so dominant? I'll tell you my theory. I think it's because football is made for television and everything. Now we're so visual and everything's TV, and it's a time of year when, once it gets colder, everyone's indoors, you're watching TV, and you compare it to baseball. Baseball's terrible for TV. Say you got 2 men on base, somebody hits a line drive down into the corner. What are you going to show?
Right.
You can't show everything happening once on TV. You just can't do it. Whereas football, everything is in that area. You follow the ball.
Yeah, I
think
agree
it's a
with you on
big
that.
part of it.
I think so. I also think the amount of games. Every game is so important, even though there's, tinkering with that.
Yeah. Every game matters.
If it was 40 NFL games, maybe it's not as much. But to your
back
point,
to me in 5 years.
right. We're going that route. But to your point, football and maybe hockey, we could throw in that, but football, I enjoy it more watching TV than actually being at the game.
Yeah.
Like the action when you're at the game is great, but the timeouts, the time in between plays, there's a lot of downtime.
Let alone just the effort to get there.
The parking, the cost and everything. And if you're at a game, you can't quite keep up on all the other games at the same time either.
Right.
At home, you got Red Zone you can watch. You got multiple screens, things like that. I think that's a big part about it, of it too. Just it's a better product, to your point, on TV, and more enjoyable environment, like especially for us here in Sacramento. To drive to Santa Clara, find parking, and then after the game, trying to get out of that place.
That's been an issue for the NFL, not just in Santa Clara, but everywhere. It's like, how do we make it as enjoyable at the game as it is at home?
Right.
How do we get people to come to the games?
Dude, think about it. You hungry, you just go to your kitchen. You thirsty, you go to the fridge. At a game, you got to stand in the long lines and everything.
Bad game, I don't have to watch. I'll watch a different game.
Yep, I'll watch a different game. But but all the stadiums are banged out too, though. Like, it's not like people aren't going to the games as well. People are actually going to these games. I just think, it's a short season. Fantasy football is massive as well. So, yeah, I think that's all, all a part of it.
There's who was it? The gentleman who called earlier suggesting that I've been around a while. And it's true. I can remember when that was just starting to tip, like, wait, isn't baseball the number one sport? Not anymore. And then it's just a tidal wave. Look how, it's it's not even close. It's a joke to compare the popularity of baseball to football.
It's a joke. And football is king. My beloved basketball, they get 2 to 3 million viewers. Man, it's great. Football blows that out of the water. We'll see it this week when the Nielsen ratings come out next week and everything. The top, 50 most watched shows of the week. Football will be up there in the top 10 mostly.
Yeah. I think you're on to one of the huge keys, which is every game is an event. That said, why is it then? I don't know the answer. Why do people watch the preseason? Preseason NFL does better than a lot of
that's true.
Like baseball regular season games.
That's true.
Don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's a great question.
And there's something about, let's be honest, something about the violent nature of the game that attracts us.
Yeah.
Because there's a danger involved. When you're watching something, it's dangerous.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, about football. And as a society, we've become hypocrites because the guys get hurt. Damar Hamlin nearly dies on the field. I'm done with football. I can't. I'm done. but it's still people next season, they're right back at it. You know, you look at, you know, the Colin Kaepernick situation. You look at, you know, Roger Goodell and the way he's run things. You know, people consider him a clown and all this, but yet they still support the sport. And also, too, football, would you say college football also, or is it just the NFL? You know
college
what I mean?
football, I think, is huge. I mean, you probably would know more about the ratings. I don't follow the ratings that closely for college. You being in the business, maybe you know. But it's just, you know, it's nothing compared to the NFL, but it's still big-time numbers. The game of football, it's part of our American DNA.
Yeah, it's America's sport, you know. I mean, it's, you know, baseball, they say America pastime. Well, football is really in our DNA. And I would say, too, the macho-ness of it all that you talk about, the hard hits, the gladiator mentality, that speaks to us somehow.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we even have, you know, an increasing number of girls flag football.
Right.
It's great.
Right.
That's just the popularity of the game of football.
Do you think, because I'm going back 5 to 10 years, CTE, concussions, youth football, do you think there will come a day where all those people who have said, because even, you know, growing up, my parents didn't want me to play football because they felt it was too violent. My brother did. He got hurt. And so do you think there will come a day where the NFL isn't what we actually see anymore? Helmets, pads, that kind of thing, where it resembles more flag football type, if you will?
I don't know. You know, around 2012 is when you had the movie come out with Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah.
Tell the Truth.
Yes.
Was that called Concussion? Yeah. Was that the name of the movie?
I feel like it was. Yeah.
So, and then you had, you know, Bountygate, and had the NFL just backpedaling to try to stave off lawsuits. And, you know, former players if you talk to them, they'll tell you they get bombarded at home. They get mail from attorneys all the time. Like, do you want to be part of this suit, this suit, this suit?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the NFL it seems to me they've kind of staved that off pretty well, you know, because it's not nearly as big of an issue. And they've done some cosmetic things about, wear the Guardian cap. And, we're changing the kickoff rule. So I don't know. If you asked me years ago, I would have said, it's inevitable. It's going to go in the way. But I think the NFL has done a pretty good job of holding off that whole movement, which, let's face it, is probably a pretty progressive movement. There's a lot of sense to it because it is a violent game. It is not for everybody.
Right. It's not. And that's the thing. Like, football is sort of like the NFL, especially Teflon, where nothing sticks.
Right.
You know, they deal with crisis after crisis after crisis, and just wait it out. I mean, you look at players' incidents off the field. You know, I think of Ray Rice and the elevator incident with his girlfriend. You know, and it's like, then he got signed, got let back in the league. People are like, what's the NFL doing? You know, they're supporting, you know, letting the domestic abuser back in, and people are outraged, but then it just dies down and people just go back.
And I think you just touched on a bigger thing. There was a guy that, by definition, I believe, maybe not either nearly or did die on the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did that hurt the NFL in his popularity?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I'm not saying it should, but I'm just saying if that doesn't, then I can't imagine that we're any closer to the day where, flag is safer. We got to play flag.
Yeah.
People love their tackle football.
Yeah, they do. AB916 on the YouTube chat says football is greater than basketball. This is his opinion. Let's be real. Football games are more fun to go to than basketball, too. Football is a tradition. Tailgating alone is a great experience. I don't know about that. Maybe not for me because I'm a little different. You know, I don't drink, and so it's not alcohol doesn't play a factor in my life. But I enjoy being at a basketball game. There's more action, less downtime than a football game. Football games drag on, man. Like those commercial breaks sometimes. And how about this, Whitey? No replays when you're at the stadium. No replays. So that's an issue as well.
Ramsey weighs in. Doesn't surprise me, but this is Ramsey. I may be different from most, but I love football games live. Are we breaking or breaking for good? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to conclude the program.
Man, I wanted to beat Jay in Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz.
Oh, man,
or whatever.
stop lying to the people.
Dang. Okay. I was ready. I studied up for today as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you're studying now. Oh, okay. We caught him, White.
Oh, yeah. Man. I had one ready to go and everything. All right. So we're back with that tomorrow. Yeah. And we'll be with you tomorrow. Stick around for NFL football. Opening night coming up here. We've got the Chiefs and we've got the Ravens. What do you like tonight?
I'm going Ravens. My boy Lamar Jackson is going to get it done tonight.
I wanted to do that too, but I can't. It's a tradition. I got to go with the Chiefs.
What?
Let's go.
Tradition
Chiefs.
just to be
It's
different
coming up.
than me?
Yes, on Sactown Sports next.
Your water heater. Old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.